and welcome everybody to another session of the Hobo Slayers D&D campaign. We have with us a new member, Rovanek. Welcome.
Thank you.
And,
I'm very happy to be here.
and with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Mortanis.
Oh, sure. All right, so for those of you that joined us last week, you might remember that the party is making their way slowly south in order to take a mare to face justice. And they arrived in a dwarven city, the city of Del Loder, which is in the caldera of an ancient volcano. And things kind of went, I don't want to say sideways, because sideways is its standard state with this party. So people ventured off and did a little bit of shopping. We've got new adventures. We killed some people on accident. The usual. So at some point, we're going to have to figure out, you know what? We'll just force it to happen. Rofanek can be at the inn with everybody else that's not currently in the Dwarven Temple of Moradin beneath the surface there. And we'll get that on in there. But yes, currently they are attempting to figure out what might be wrong. Well, no, currently they are attempting to sober up and do things, and then potentially maybe figure out what's wrong with magic in the area that's preventing the portal to the capital city of Barcombe from functioning. So my recollection is that everybody except for Vice was in the inn, correct? And
Correct.
drunk or napping for the night.
I think I was the only drunk one.
Well, drunk implies that there's not a stage beyond drunk, which you were definitely in. You had like a blood alcohol content of like 10% or something. So,
Hey, I maintain it. A drunk bard is a fun bard.
yeah, it's over 9,000. So, without further ado, we'll start with the people in the inn, and we'll figure out how to rope Rofanek in, and then we will continue with hopefully the plot line. So, those of you in the inn, go ahead.
Were we in our rooms, or I think I remember taking our bard friend to his room and lay him down,
Yeah.
specifically stomach down so he wouldn't die of puking.
I did sober up a little bit, though. I did sober up a little.
A little, yes. Now he's just merely drunk.
Yes, I had taken him up to the room and I was meditating.
Ah, that's right. So actually, I think everybody's probably going to be taking a little bit of a nap time anyway, so we might have to jump back to the temple as is and just hope that the tiefling doesn't discover the entire plot line by herself.
If she does, she
technically-
can tell us what.
Technically, I'm not at the temple yet. Before I went to the temple, I went to the brewmaster, like the brewmaster down below in the Dwarven City, and accidentally poisoned him, killed him, brought him back to life, and now we're trying to strike up a contract for
The late, suddenly not late Sandor Golden Brew.
What? That is such a great sentence. I killed him, brought him back to life, and now we're working on a contract. Like, just like.
Whoa, I didn't say killed him. He just ended up dead.
Okay, you did technically, accidentally, inadvertently kill him.
I unalived him and then alived him again. So
Unalived him. That sounds like you turned him into a zombie, and he did
Well,
not turn
I
into a
mean-
zombie.
No, he got resurrected before he could turn into a zombie. It was very close, but there was no one dead involved, mostly. Just a little re-deading.
Oh my!
And I believe we were striking up a deal for, I think it was like, what, 50 gold up front and then 2% on 2% on all future purchases of the ale if he can get the recipe right.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, 50 gold up front for all the research notes and all the information, and then 2%. Yeah. So.
And as far as things go, he finds that to be a fairly respectable price. I mean, considering that the sales pitch involved killing him, pretty deep.
Hey, to be fair, you could put the slogan "So good it'll knock you dead."
Oh, wow.
He quietly jots that down.
That one's on the house.
Oh.
All right, so having negotiated business, he'll give you the 50 gold for all of the notes currently, and he will start researching and, go from there. It's not going to be anything that probably comes to fruition anytime quite soon, but hey, 50 gold is 50.
We take those.
I'll take my leave and now go to the temple.
All right, as noted, the temple is beneath the surface, underneath nearby a gigantic lift platform. The temple itself is in the shape of an anvil because the dwarves believe that Moradin forged the entire world and the dwarven people upon a great heartfire forge beneath this volcano itself, though. Kind of a myth type of a thing. So it looks like a gigantic anvil with two enormous bronze hammers crossing above it. And the temple's obviously built in stages. You can see that they've added on to it. Not very ramshackle. It looks like it was fairly well done, but you can see that there are portions that precede others in age from the outside, at least. There is not a lot of traffic going in and out as it is at the end of the day. And while the temple stays open all the time, especially for dwarves and for people that have passes to go down there like you, in the evening, dwarves drink. That's just kind of their thing. So there's not going to be a lot of people at the temple, but there are a couple of guards that eye you a little bit warily. A, you're not a dwarf. B, you're also, a tiefling. But
yeah, a hooded, shifty tiefling.
just a little bit awkward looking. But they don't challenge you or anything. I assume you show your badge of authenticity on down here, and they let you wander on in.
Yep, I go in and immediately I'm looking for whoever seems to be like running the floor, just so I can be able to try and find their library.
You're actually intercepted right as you walk in by a fairly strange looking dwarf. Strange as in wearing flowing robes rather than any type of armor or leathers that you might be used to, and a short beard, like 3-day growth type of a thing, like 5 o'clock shadow plus plus. He's wizened and old, wrinkled skin, like I said, shaved, completely bald head, and his robes are very Jedi-esque, non-flared, non-frilly. They're just utilitarian and purposeful. And he approaches, looking, I don't know, I assume you're medium, so he looks up ever so slightly and then inclines his head slightly. Traveler, welcome. It is unusual to see others of various races approach the Temple of Moradin. Few, besides the dwarves, ever give venerance to the Forger of the World.
I'm actually traveled from a great distance from a far away country, and I've been on a journey seeking enlightenment and research and information into gods of other cultures that once roamed the world.
He smiles and actually looks like that's a very good thought as he kind of gives a nod. Well, as many here would have you know, the library is one where we take all texts, not just religious, not just of Moradin, but we seek to preserve much of the knowledge of times past and times present. The library is open to travelers for a small donation, either gold or a rare tome that we do not have within our works.
Very well, and I'm gonna give him 10 gold.
He smiles and nods and pockets it. That's more than sufficient. You could have given him your erotic poetry, but
Nah, I pay my tithes to the different gods, so.
So, given that it's evening, he's not going to pass you off on to one of the lesser acolytes, which is usually their duty in order to walk the people around and discharge them from tying up the important people. So you do get the impression that he seems to be higher up in the organization, though there's no note of rank or anything. He's just wearing simple robes, no necklaces, no rings, no tattoos, no anything. And he crosses his hands behind his back and begins walking on through. The main entry area seems to be probably the most newest and by far the largest. It's a open air, well, there's a roof over it, but it's so high up that it practically counts as its own weather system in here, supported by enormous, like 20-foot across pillars that are cunningly done in what looks to be maybe iron, but they don't have a tint of rust to them anywhere on them. If so, they're very well maintained. They've got kind of a curved look to them, kind of like Grecian pillars, except for twisted around at angles so that the flutes kind of swirl on up. It's all very, looks like it looks like flowing metal having solidified into a solid shape. It's very interesting in a aesthetically type of way. There's a series of 7 steps that lead on down to a central kind of, call it temple worship area, where there are tile frescoes on the floor of Moradin beating a hammer. It's all pixelated mosaic type of a thing, beating a hammer and creating the world on the Heartfire Forge, and then the sparks falling off of that and creating the dwarven people and the like. It's all very relatively It's got the feel of, I guess I'd say, lovingly crafted, but stepped on quite a bit. It looks a little dingy and dirty. And other than that, there's a couple of other dwarves in here, and then there are rooms and passageways towards the back. And the priest continues walking past and glances down at the frescoes as he passes on through. And then, so you mentioned seeking other gods, knowledge of them. What exactly is it that you're searching for?
I'm. It's a little more abstract to what I'm looking for. I'm just trying to see the viewpoints of different cultures, and religion being a high point in every culture.
He nods. Well, we the dwarves believe that Moradin crafted us from the very same anvil that created the universe. There are other cultures that believe some strange things. I believe that some elves, various sects of elves, sects, I stuttered on that one, sects of elves, not sects of elves, believe that the twin gods of chaos and order had a eternal fight for a couple of trillion years, and their droplets of blood from each punch became infinite worlds among the stars. But that's dumb.
Everyone has their own perceptions on the world.
Yes, many of them do have incorrect perceptions about the world. Please follow me. He steps you through another older area that appears to have been one of the early areas of the temple itself, down a series of stairs, around a corner, and then down a long hallway set with alcoves on either side with stone busts of great dwarven priests, and their names are almost lost to time. The plaques beneath them so long gone, oxidized, and the dwarves apparently don't believe in keeping this part nearly as clean. There are some probably 64 busts, 32 on each side, and slots for another maybe dozen or so. And then it opens up into probably what would have been the original temple when it was built. It's a lot smaller than the ostentatious part out front. It's circular with the same type of pillars that you saw out front, but smaller, more the sort that you could actually reach your arms around. And there are a series of bookshelves that's set out through the center and then around the outer wall. And the whole place here is more quarried stone than the stuff that you've seen in the city. It has an ancient feel, like crafted lovingly by early dwarves with nothing but stone tools and beards for polishing. It's ancient, weathered. He smiles and kind of glances around. This was the original temple many thousands of years ago. Now we feel it is most beneficial to keep our knowledge here. There's something serene about the idea. If there's any questions, I will be over here at the front working on my meditations for the evening, but you may peruse the volumes as you see fit. Should you wish a copy, bring it to us and we will make sure that we can transcribe it as necessary. And thank you. It's very rare that we have anyone that is an interest in knowledge. These days, it seems that so many people don't care about the way that things were before. And we dwarves, we strongly believe in the way that things were before. And he wanders on over to one of the large, science room tables that every high school always had, the big gigantic black ones. And he sits down, pulls out a tome from within his robe, and begins reading, one hand on his shaved, almost bearded face, leaving you alone. There are a couple of other people in here, one human and 3 dwarves, and they are just perusing the books.
So the first set of books I want to look for is just I want to find the religious text, like I guess the Moradin Bible, so to speak, for the first one. But I also want to find any books about demons and ancient bloodlines.
Okay. It'll take a little bit of searching, but there's a equivalent Dewey Decimal System, so no need to roll any sort of researchy type of thing. It'll take a little bit to find that. However, why don't you give me an Arcana check while you're doing this?
Shazam!
Yeah, that's pretty decent. There's a tingle of magic in the air. It is something of a elemental type of nature. In fact, it feels very similar to the sort of power that you felt emanating from the strange rock that the D&D LARPers were trying to sell.
Same rock that I still have on my person, so fire based.
Indeed. It's more of a generic elemental type of feeling, like pre-elemental, like it could be forged into something fire or water or earth or air. It's something that could
Oh.
become one of those.
So literally just like a blank vessel made to hold elemental energy.
Very similar, yes. It's definitely emanating from somewhere beneath your feet. And the way that it feels is it pulses in waves, sending tingles across your skin, nerves kind of sending silvery electric lightning on from your feet to your head. And the way that the pulses feel with, a 20 on your Arcana check, something about it seems like it would probably interfere with any sort of other harmonic based magic, which could be the way that their portals work with this, that it would cancel out the waves that generate the transportation effect of a gate spell. That could be something that is causing the issue. But it is far below you, distant, elusive.
Sorry, just getting that noted down. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep the crystal still close to the chest, so to speak, and look for any of the. I guess I find the books.
Okay.
Just gonna pile them up on the table and start browsing through the history of Morden, and just kind of spend my time studying and reading.
All right. As far as the Morden texts go, most of them do seem to agree with a little bit of variance here and there with the general story that you've heard repeated a couple of times in there, that Morden believes, or the dwarves believe, that Morden was the primary god and that created the other elemental beings, other divine beings, as well as the universe and the dwarves, as well as other planes of existence, the ethereal, the astral, the elemental planes, etc. That does seem to be a little bit kind of pompous, that all one god's all responsible for that in this cosmology. But all of the texts do seem to believe that about 5,000 years ago, the Earth sprang into being when Moradin got bored, and with the Heartfire Forge, something he crafted out of his own power, brought into being the stars. It's got a couple of various like dwarven philosophers that are like, with each stroke of the hammer, the sparks became the stars, and the fragments became the galaxies, and blah blah blah. So, but effectively, yeah, they believe that he hit a hammer on a forge and it created the universe and the cosmology, and that the dwarves were a direct result of the cast-offs, that the slag basically of the universe being created. And then the other races were just like, yeah, whatever, okay, you can have people, I guess, too. So, but most of them do believe more or less that is the way that it happened about 5,000 years ago.
Does the book detail any of Morden's relics, any kind of holy artifacts or things like that?
The Heartfire Forge specifically is mentioned repeatedly,
Yeah.
both being a celestial item and something that continues to exist. The idea is that everything was forged on it, therefore everything is tied to the forge. Destroy the forge and the universe would cease to exist. Everything would just vanish. So whether or not that's true, there is also the hammer that he used, kind of a hammer of Hephaestus type of a thing. It is a simple block of pure will forged into a hammer type of shape that he used to create everything. There's no description given of it other than it is a piece of his pure will. What that means, that's a strange question. But Hammer of Morden, another main artifact.
And anything else mentioned in the tomes? Anything Morden related?
Not particularly. I mean, Morden has basically been hands off since the creation of time. Other gods definitely still have a presence in the universe, and their clerics are out there doing all sorts of goody two shoes healing type of thing. Dwarf priests of Moradin are not terribly common, and if so, they're like the dude that just brought you here. They don't go out into the world, they don't proselytize, they don't convert, they don't even go do good works. They stay basically here, and it's more of a safe profession than any sort of a thing. Basically, dwarves were like, yeah, Moradin, he did all the work, and now we're resting with his cool existence. Thank you. So they don't really feel the need to go out and do anything because, Moradin did everything. What's the point? So other gods are definitely more active. But no, Moradin's basically MIA or silent since the founding.
Interesting. And book on ancient bloodlines, specifically dwarven bloodlines. And
Okay.
I'm just trying to get as much information about dwarven culture as possible.
Okay. I mean, there's quite a bit of information in there. We could wax intellectual about it for quite a while, but basically, dwarves can trace their lineage back maybe about 4,000 odd years. Their belief is that it was created all 5,000 years ago. So there is some about a millennia there that is unaccounted for before they actually started having recorded history. And they also don't have a really good explanation on why, if Morden created dwarves more or less right at the beginning, why it took 1,000 years for them to get their shit together. So that's kind of a big question mark, right? 4,000 years of more or less direct ancestry recorded in all sorts of genealogical things. Every dwarf at some point is registered somewhere in this library, even if it's just a name, so and so begat so and so, brother of so and so.
And the last book I would have read would have been a book over the just what would be considered general common knowledge of the gates of hell and the demons, both High Lord demons that are ruling over hell for that point.
You find that, unfortunately, in the fairy tale section, as they don't honestly believe that Moradin would have created any sort of things. He definitely created an ethereal plane, an astral plane where souls exist and get to party forever after the fact. The 4 elemental planes, maybe a plane of shadow. They're not really 100% sure on that. No one's actually been there as far as dwarves are concerned, but no one would have ever created anything for like the 9 hells or any sort of demon, devilly type of place. So they believe that sort of thing is fairy tales, which is probably why you got a little bit of the weird stink eye when walking on in, because it's literally like, I don't know, the boogeyman walking on in to a normal library around here.
But I would have gone over it and specifically looking up more information about a demon called Abraxas.
Nothing. Surprisingly, nothing.
Dang it. The hard one to
Anyone
find.
else alarmed? Anyone else kind of alarmed by why he's researching this?
Don't,
I'm trying not to metagame. I'm listening and waiting.
I'm trying to too.
don't worry about it. It's okay.
Oh,
That's
now
always
I am
reassuring.
worried. Okay,
That's always reassuring.
the moment Danzig says don't worry about it, bam, that sets the alarm off.
There's at least a little worry in the statement.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Yes.
That's unfortunate. But I would have spent the rest of my evening just reading different kind of books and just perusing on Dwarven culture. So that would be
Okay, go ahead
the
and give
rest.
me a second Arcana check.
okay.
Wow.
19. Yeah, the rolls are pretty good for at least one tonight. Over on the furthest wall, opposite of the way that you came in, which would basically be, as far as you could figure it, the furthest point from the entrance of the actual temple proper as well. That bookshelf looks weird. You're sensing something with your magic brain doohickeys. That's the best that I could describe Arcana right now.
So you're saying my Peter tingle is going off and I need to go check
yes, you're Peter.
Oh my god.
I just love that it's like we're talking about magic and
Wow.
like there's so many. It's just like that bookshelf looks weird and your brain's going, huh?
I hope everybody's watched Spider-Man Far From Home. Otherwise, it's going to be an awkward statement.
I have not, and that's why I felt awkward.
I've seen it. I know.
I've seen it.
I know.
It's the one Marvel movie I have not seen yet, and I don't
yeah.
know if I'm gonna watch Black Widow, but we'll get in that another time.
John Favreau's happy, instead of the spider sense. He's like, hey, you got that thing going on, the Peter tinkle? Because
Yeah.
Peter Parker.
Like-
It's a great part during the movie.
Oh
It's
my
because
God.
literally Spidey Sense is copyrighted, and they couldn't use Spidey Sense. So they're like, well, I guess we're just going to use Peter Tingle. Let's go with that one. That'll be funny for the audience. But yeah,
Wait,
so
isn't
my,
it- Okay, never.
my arcane Peter Tingle is going off, and I'm going to go investigate and look through the shelves of Line of Tomes.
Give me a willpower saving throw. Wisdom now, I guess. I'm still used to 3-5.
Oh,
Ooh,
there was the first
9.
row.
9 is there's the poor rule. You approach the bookshelf and look at it, and it is very booky. Also, shelfy.
I'm going to try and focus my eyes and read the books. And is it getting hard to?
A little bit, yeah.
That's not good.
Like try as you might, as you kind of investigate all of the writing on the bindings, none of it makes any sense. You're not sure if it's Dwarven, Common, Elven, Pig Latin. It just doesn't make any sense. You can't actually parse the letters.
Wait,
So-
Pig Latin actually exists in D&D?
Yeah, that's how all greater mages cast their spells eventually.
Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and cast Apprehend, say Anguage's Lay, and go ahead and see if I can
Dang,
refocus that.
nice.
Yeah, refocus that up.
I'm not even going to attempt to repeat that, but you cast your spell,
Oh,
and the text reveals itself to be complete gibberish still. That's weird. It is entirely unaffected by your ability to comprehend language.
Is there any dwarves nearby? Just kind of like I could like ask a question like what they know, like what kind of books are on this shelf.
Yeah, of those 3 dwarves and also the guy that escorted you in, they're still around. Just grab one of them and be like, dude, what's his book?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. He wanders on up, squints at the bookshelf. I don't think it looks like anything at all.
That's weird.
Okay, well, for everybody that didn't watch the very first season of Westworld, instead, he looks at it and just kind of, it looks like cookbooks to me.
Cookbooks. Huh. Well, I like cooking, so I'm gonna try and grab one of the books off the shelf.
All right, so you find yourself about 5 minutes later sitting at a table staring at nothing. But you have a vague recollection that you wanted to cook something. And you have no recollection of the last couple of minutes, but that's okay. It doesn't seem all that weird.
Then I guess to go back to my books.
All right. So unless there's anything else, we should probably skip forward to morning. If there's anything else you're looking for in the books, we can make notes of that. But otherwise, we can keep the ball rolling.
Unless you got spell books or knowledge books on Warlock, like a dummy's guide to Warlocks or Wizards.
Okay, you can find a couple of those. They're very basic. Not a lot of wizards and warlocks. That would be a pretty good game name. Not a lot of wizards and warlocks are out there scribing up all their stuff and then handing it out to people. They keep their secrets relatively safe. Definitely not handing it to dwarves, but you find a little bit of info.
Okay, cool. Those are the kind of books that I would have him transcribe and copy of for me.
Okay. That'll be probably 5 silver each, 2 per goal.
Then let's tack on a copy of the Moradin Bible and a copy of Dwarven history and lineage. So 2 gold.
Okay. They'll start working on that shortly.
Awesome. And then
They'll have that at the end of the day type of thing. They're not, expansive tomes, so.
And she'll be spending her long rest, quote unquote, like until morning, just reading books.
Okay. So we'll skip forward to the next morning. And, the bard wakes up feeling actually probably pretty good. That's normal, right?
Since the first wave of sun hit me, I probably ran downstairs to eat some breakfast because my boy likes to eat.
Okay. Unfortunately, all they've got is dwarven type of stuff, so it's just basically rashers of bacon with more rashers of bacon and a side of probably bacon.
Why is that
Okay.
preceded with unfortunately? I don't
Exactly.
understand.
That's exactly what I was about to say. What is bad about bacon? Mortanus, if you say there's anything bad about bacon, I swear, next time I see you.
No. I absolutely adore bacon, of course, like all normal people. I'm just saying that, the dwarves expect that outsiders would not eat, all of this sort of. Unfortunately, all we've got is just, filet mignon. I apologize for that. I know you weird outlanders probably prefer your avocado toast.
I have like 3 plates of just bacon. I am happy. How much does that cost me?
It's just going to be a silver. I mean, it's basically a continental type of breakfast. So
I'm gonna get up and make sure no one stole anything from me, and that I got my money from last night.
then it occurs to you that dwarves generally live underground. Where are the pigs?
My character's not question. Are you kidding me? He's already like 2 plates in. He's just like, I'm good.
It's long pork.
It reminds me of the scene from Demolition Man for the burger.
You see any cows around here?
Yes.
I mean,
Silent is people.
It's always, like dwarves, the stereotypical culture that they're brewmasters. They drink a lot. You see a lot of wheat and barley and oats growing underground. You think no, that's like moss beer or something, you know. I suppose there is probably a wood elf druid sitting over there. I don't know if the druid eats bacon or not, but if you want to, there's bacon. Otherwise, there's vegan options, which would probably be grass. I don't know what would.
Mushrooms, maybe,
Yeah,
but not the bad kind.
There you go. Sure, I'll have a plate of mushrooms.
I guess
Too
after
bad.
I check my stuff, I'm gonna walk downstairs and join in on the bacon and get a thing of the hair of the dog.
I
Also,
just love that
bacon wrapped mushrooms are pretty good. So
Delicious. Yes.
those are really good. Yeah.
Mushroom stew with some potatoes
Yep.
and other root vegetables.
Okay, I have a confession. I can't eat mushrooms. Possibly allergic, and everything else that my family's been allergic to, I've been allergic, so I can't. I've never had the delicacy of mushrooms.
That's,
oh dang.
I have a disdain for mushrooms just because I think they're a tasteless entity, but I'm not going to get into that with.
How dare you?
I like mushrooms, so
All right. Well, I don't know how you guys want to introduce yourselves. You know, they're adventurers. Hello, I am seeking adventure and or fame and or fortune. Perhaps we could. I was going to say hook up. That's the wrong context.
Well, you know, that's the
How
bard's
often-
job is to hook up.
Yeah. Hey, do you come here often?
Also, you could probably recognize Drusilla there. While you're a wood elf and she is a hoity-toity high elf. She is nobility. You know.
Mortanus, are we gonna have to have an
Right.
anatomy lesson again?
No.
yeah. And since I only had a meditate for 4 hours, I probably came down before everybody else and probably saw them early. So
All right. Well, now everybody's together and friends. They bonded over bacon and or mushroom.
Hang on, do I need a roll for the
Sure.
one cup of ale I'm drinking or no?
No, not for this.
Okay, good. That would be bad if I get a single cup of ale next thing I'm drunk again.
Now, the only thing you'd have to worry about is if you drank the dwarven equivalent to 151, which is oddly called 200.
Don't challenge me to it. I've drinking a cup of what's it called, Demon Swirl, and then was asking for seconds after surviving the Constitution check.
So, all
I'm
right.
gonna cupcake sarsaparilla.
Sarsaparilla is really good. So, I assume at some point Vice returns back to the inn.
No,
gonna
no,
stay
no.
down
She's
there?
still in the library.
You're still down there. Okay. Well,
I am buried in books.
all of you realize that Vice is nowhere to be found.
We should go probably check on our friend, mainly to make sure that there's no fires anywhere or something.
The fact that the town isn't blown up yet definitely amazes me.
No, you're in a dwarven city that's been a caldera of a volcano. There's fire probably a lot of places.
The volcano's long since dead. There's absolutely no fire
But there's forges.
yet.
And yet.
Yes.
Danzig, dormant
there's-
means there's zero activity at all.
I'm just saying that there's no people running and screaming and out of the fear of something.
It's like, oh, they're running from this direction? Yeah, she's probably down that way.
Why are you friends with this devil lady again? I don't understand.
Because she's scary, she's mean, she's powerful, and it's better to have her as a friend than an enemy.
Fair enough. All right. I'm all down for that. Let's go.
Yeah. All the
Roughneck,
wood
have
elf
you
has
never
to
heard the
say
saying?
is, all the wood elf has to say is, I've got extra heals. And
That's
yeah,
true.
oh yeah, we come with us.
Especially
We
the one
need a
who
healer.
especially the one who keeps getting down a lot. I'm like, you are my new best friend. Let's go.
All right.
You have any burn cream?
Plenty.
No, I think in that instance it'd be aloe vera.
Whatever works, man. I'm not the one who needs it.
I'm just saying, aloe vera
got
I think is
all.
more natural. You can grow it, you can keep growing it, and it works good for burns, dry skin, and everything else. I'm going to shut up now. I'm seeming like a nerd.
It occurs to me that I have a vague recollection that Vice got passes for everybody and sent them back with the 2 turd buckets from Ice Brew. So you probably at some point, notice that they're eating bacon and drinking breakfast beer as all true dwarves do. They're like, oh yeah. By the way, Vice in the temple here. He got these passes for you 14 hours ago. Welcome.
Mortanis, you did it again.
She.
I was like, well, to be fair, we had one kind of encumbered, so we probably wouldn't be going after her till now anyway. So
True, but so they hand you the passes that go, and magically another one has appeared. Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Wait, before we do anything, should we have Roughneck actually introduce his character?
Oh, that's a really good idea. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sure. Well, you already know I'm a wood elf druid. Basically, well, like a background, I guess.
I mean, just
Kinda thing?
basics. I mean, we don't even know
Just
the sex
basics?
of your druid.
Male wood elf druid. Basically comes from a family of potato farmers, and he got bored, and he ran off to discover the world, and he got in with a commune of fairies, and he lived with them for a while, and he got bored with that, and he moved on, and he's just been wandering around trying to find himself, kind of a thing. He's basically a hippie.
And I was
Well,
gonna
I
say
hope
he
we're
sounds more like an
entertained.
Amish person.
Amish hippie. I mean, same thing, right?
Hey, no, we're not going to cross that line. Never disrespect the Amish. I learned that the
Okay.
hard way. That's again a
Okay.
story for another day.
I
All right.
I just love that. I just hope we're entertaining enough. Apparently, that's my main concern. I got bored and I went go do something. I got bored.
I just imagine,
Yep.
it's elves too. So it's not like a bunch of people. It's like elves. You think of like, the Lord of the Rings, and there's the city of Rivendell, and it's all beautiful, and they're sitting
Right.
around on lounge chairs, and there's draperies, and then there's those elves over there. They're potato farmers.
That's right. Generations of pride, right there.
They make their alcohol with potatoes. They eat soup with. I mean, it's just
Vodka,
we
yeah.
don't talk to them.
Hey, don't put down potato mash. I mean, I have actually tried a cup of potato mash. That stuff actually is pretty good.
Anyway, like I was
See?
saying, potatoes is the vegetable of the ground. You can barbecue it, boil it, broil it, bake it, saute it.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Stick 'em in stew.
What's potatoes, precious? Potato. Anyway,
Is that like enough?
Yeah, that'll work. I mean, as
Alright.
long as we know the basics, and
Yeah,
you gave us enough
that's the basics.
background for now.
so
you can always develop it.
officially, I don't know if he has this spell, but a first level druid spell is traditionally good berry, which allows you to create like what 1d4, 2d4 healing berries. Now, healing potatoes. Eat this raw potato, son. It'll make you feel better.
If you want to give that
right.
if you want to give flavor text, that would be awesome.
I totally would
Nice.
be down for that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did not pick that one, but
Here's a potato for the potato.
that's right.
I just would love to see like 5 people walking down the road, and then like we're eating potatoes, and someone walks by, and they're like, "They're just eating potatoes raw. They're just eating potatoes raw." No, I can't let. Like, why are they like just like?
And it's like if they make a big enough fuss, they'd be like, "Okay, Vice, we need your fire for a second."
I'm not using my flames to bake potatoes.
Oh, come on! If you can't use flames to bake potatoes from your hands, what good are you?
Would you
True.
like to find out? Okay, Casper.
All right, so now that you have been introduced to the Potato Lord, would you guys like to go to the Undercity, or do you have other plans?
No, we should probably catch up with Vice.
Yeah, let's go make sure she doesn't kill anybody else.
I guess so. She sounds dangerous though.
Oh, you have no idea.
She's fun. As long as you're friends with her, she's nice. Ish.
Hope so.
I have been nothing but polite and friendly to everyone who hasn't.
No. Need I remind you of session 1? What happened in the bar?
Are you alive?
Barely.
But did you die?
I still have scars from that. Damn it.
It's like we
So-
needed a healer, and now we have one.
So you guys group up, probably take the, well, you probably shouldn't take the cart. Walk your way through town as the city of the upper area begins to rouse itself and commerce begins, and all the hawkers are going out there to hawk their wares and all sorts of stuff. Wonderful smells of baking bread and stews going for this evening dinner because, actually it takes a very long time to make a stew, not like in most books. In any case, you guys go to the gigantic platform and show your badges. And yes, you do need your stinking badges. And then they lower you down to the Undercity, where the gigantic
bad.
temple is, and a whole bunch of shillelagh. That's another great spell.
Yeah.
And you see all the dwarven specific businesses down here. A lot of forges with their described last week, where they've got those cool chimneys that pull the smoke on up, and then the enormous temple off in the distance, filling the what looks to be probably this would have maybe once been a magma chamber, given the size of it. So, and you guys can go there.
Okay. Yeah, let's go there.
All right. Unlike Vice, you are offered to be escorted to the library by a young dwarf who's only got a 1-foot beard, teeny tiny beard, and he'll bring you on through with the exact same flavor text that I already gave, and I'm not doing it again. And then, boom, you are in the library, the oldest part of the temple, and you see Vice there sitting with a stack of books, reading.
Hang on. Pause. If 1 foot is short for a beard for a dwarf, what's like the average size?
5 foot. I mean, they wrap it
What?
around their belts and stuff,
God, why am I
They
always
make-
learning something?
Sniper, they basically put our beards to shame. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, they wrap it around their belt a couple times, stuff it in their boots, and they keep it hung over their back as a cloak to keep the water off. I mean, it's waterproof beard. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not
I
a
gotta step up my beard
dwarfologist.
game.
So, yeah.
I want.
So, yep. Beard oil, and it works pretty good. Vice, party, Vice.
She's like half out of it. And she's been reading all night, just like 3 stacks of books, and she's just pouring over the one. Doesn't even call out to her, and she's like, "Oh, hey guys."
You don't even realize that there's an extra party member. There's just other elf. Oh, hey, other elf, it's you.
Aye,
Yes,
you been
do,
up all
lady.
night there, lass.
You could say that. How was your night? How's your hangover? I already know how your night went.
Oh, hangover. This bard can hold his liquor.
I turned to look over at Hangum and Drusilla. How bad was it?
I'm pretty sure he had a blood alcohol content of what should be a dead man, but I'm not asking questions.
Yeah, pretty much that, and we had to help him up to the room. Other than that, he was pretty good.
Okay. And
Just saying that if you lit the bard on fire, he would burn like a guttering candle for about a week.
Don't give her ideas.
And the elf with you.
Our new healer and friend.
Hi.
Aye, he's the potato king.
The
Yeah.
potato.
You still sound drunk. He's the potato king.
I thought all Scottish sound drunk.
The potato king. Okay. Well, hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Welcome
Yeah.
to the party.
Yeah. It's a long story. I'll tell you later.
Sounds wonderful. So, what can I do for you guys?
Oh, we're kind of worried. You've been up all night. Maybe you should come take a rest and put the books down.
That's a nice barrel. Can I sleep in that?
I will. Well, there's a little bit of sharp objects in here, but sure, I can make some room. I'll carry you back.
Okay, now you got to carry her around Master Blaster style. She's just sitting in there shooting fire from the barrel while you reach past her to grab axes and throw them.
When I get 3rd level spells, I'm gonna do flaming arrows. Can I light his hand axes on fire?
Oh yeah, probably.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, great. Excuse me. What was the dwarf's name? Who? I guess is the dwarf still there? The one who I originally met, and
He left sometime in the middle of the night.
I'm like, okay, I need to go check and make sure they have those books transcribed for me.
You just, I'll go. You just stay here, bud. I'll go get it.
Thank you. And she goes back to look at her books, and she's just like,
I guess I go and collect her books for her.
They, were prepaid, so everything's okay. Here you go.
Thank you. I walk back and I was about to be like, here you go, and then I notice she's out cold. I'm like, I'm just gonna put these here. All right. I say we should probably. I'm going to pick her up, and we're probably just gonna. I don't know unless there's anything else we need to do in here.
"You guys got any food?
We can go get you food. It's okay.
There's cookbooks over there."
I
And I like lazily point to the shelf of cookbooks,
The magic shelf, yes.
the magic shelf.
Oi, Vice, they do have bacon here.
Bacon. That's not surprising. They're dwarves.
I look at Vice. Go. Why do you mention the cookbooks?
Guys, they might have dwarven recipes. Isn't that not exciting?
Hunger.
What if they have a special way to cure bacon?
Cure bacon.
What if they have different recipes for ale?
Your bacon's actually the third level.
I hear that and I walk over to the books.
Right, give me a wisdom saving throw.
See how I do that.
Quick wisdom.
Yeah,
Make
okay.
save.
In the saving throw. Do. It's right in the saving throw box, right below proficiency bonus.
Oh, okay, I see.
That's okay. You can definitely tell something is screwy with the books. You can't read any of them, and that makes you suspicious. Really suspicious, unlike some people.
Okay.
I was going to say before this, I was gonna just whisper to Drusilla, be like, I think she's hallucinating. We should probably get her to get some sleep.
Aye, it might be best if we let the poor lass sleep.
Seems like she's already asleep.
True.
You're asleep.
Not true then.
Okay. Well, I make a note that something seems off about these books, so we can get her back.
Can I take a crack at it, or
Sure. Yeah. If you approach anyone that gets near the back wall, please make a wisdom save.
I'll go for it?
Sure, why not?
I'm just gonna stay put.
Oh.
That was
Yeah, you wander on over and wow, okay. So Drusilla, you watch as your companions, Nailin and Hang'em Windhammer, approach the bookshelf, kind of lean on in to look at the bindings of the books, and then immediately both, in almost perfect lock step, as if they were marching to a beat, walk across the room and take a seat at the table directly across from Vice, and then just sit there perfectly back straight. And for the two of you that failed your saving throw, which are the ones that I just named, a couple of minutes pass before you realize that, yeah, you're sitting at a desk. You don't remember how you got here. That's probably okay, though. That's normal.
I look over at Demo and it's like, go, huh? I guess I should have warned him that something felt off.
By the way, Mertana, since it's been like an entire night since I've been the bookshelf, can I get one more crack at it?
You can, but I'm going to make you to roll disadvantage on that one.
Sounds fun. Like, guys, get the cookbooks. I go over there and walk over there.
Wow. Okay. You do manage to shake off the stupor that had invaded your mind previously the night before. You're still unable to parse exactly what the hell the books are trying to say, but you can now recognize that there's some sort of a persuasion, a compulsion effect that is preventing you from parsing anything, but it does not command you to ignore it and leave, as opposed to those two yokels over at the desk. So you're able to at least understand that you have been affected by something, but you still have no idea what is affecting you.
Do you feel that, Drusilla? That's weird.
It is.
I don't know.
I don't think these are cookbooks.
Or they're really good.
Can I roll an Arcana check to try and get a semblance of how strong the ward is,
Yes.
like spell-wise? Oh, well, there I go.
Well, you didn't need the disadvantage on that, but either way, hell yeah. So yeah, 21. Wow, this is a very powerful spell of a level of which you have seen very few spellcasters anywhere in the world have managed to master. It is old, it is ancient magic, it is pervasive, so much so that it is seeped into the rocks itself. It is some sort of combination illusion compulsion.
Something is definitely amiss here. Why would this bookshelf have such strong magic?
In the words of one of the greatest philosophers of our time, strange things are afoot at the Circle K, Ted.
Since I'm not compelled to leave the bookshelf, I'm going to try again to grab one.
Okay. As you push yourself, you try desperately to do so, and you find yourself hitting wood. Your hand passes through the books, and you feel a very heavily lined, ancient board of some sort. There's definitely an illusion here. You can feel wood.
Hey, Denville, can you come over here for a moment?
I see your hand going through the books. I suppose I'll step
As
over
soon
and
as he
see
comes
what's
over to
going
looks at it, I want to push him through the bookshelf.
Okay.
on. Are you kidding me?
Whoa! All right. Please first make your wisdom saving throw because you have not done one in the vicinity of this.
Oh Lord. So just click wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
Oh my God! What?
That
Is it
nat
not bad
one-
enough of getting thrown through the books?
He can be
That was a
compelled
nice
to go
nat one.
back. He can be compelled to go back. Before he does that, I'm pushing him.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Yeah. You see him approach, and he turns, and you shoulder shove him into the bookshelf. Please give me a strength throw now, Bard.
Give me one moment here. I'm trying to deal with issues on the computer. You said a strength saving throw?
Just a strength check, but I mean it's the same roll. So, well, unless you have proficiency in that save. A 10 is okie dokie. All right, so Vice shoulder checks you, both of them, slams you backwards. You stumble and pass right through the bookshelf, and apparently hit a door with enough force that it snaps the locking mechanism clean off, and you tumble down a staircase into the pitch darkness. From those of you upstairs or in the library area, you see Vice push, and suddenly our faithful bard vanishes, and then you hear him rolling and rolling and rolling
And
rolling.
yelling at the same time, mind you.
Swearing and
Actually, you're
cursing.
still affected. You're still affected by the compulsion. You're trying to get back to the table, and your brain is in that blank for a couple of minutes that everyone else's was. So you're actually more or less unaware that you're falling and bouncing your way down the steps. Clang, 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 clang.
Are we able to stand up now?
Yes.
Okay.
I kind of just like go up to Vice and
Go
be
ahead
like,
and hold on. Take 5 points of falling damage.
Will do as soon as I get the site back up. Like I said, I'm having issues with Chrome.
Gotcha. Okay. So yes, now that you guys can stand up as you see it, the compulsion effect has worn off at this point because you've literally witnessed one of your people passing through it forcefully. So all of you can shake it off. The illusion still stands, but the compulsion has vanished from all of your minds. You can willfully go through it if you want.
Vice, what the hell?
What? We got results.
Okay, you know what? I can't argue there.
Okay,
And
we're
we have a
borderline in on Vice
healer.
becoming a mad scientist now.
Nah.
I'm not a mad scientist. I'm a mad arc wizard. Sorcerer.
You said we got results. Damn the reason why.
What did I
Well-
get myself into?
Feeling what this guy is going to be hurting. I mean, to be fair, he starts at half the time.
What?
And with that, I look at them and I just walk through it and start heading down the stairs.
Okay, you find that there was a door there. It is now hanging askew from ancient hinges, very pitted with age. The door is just kind of hanging there, and it leads to a staircase. It is a hewn staircase, very rough done. It doesn't look like anyone spent the time to level everything. It is ancient, and there is a center groove where footsteps of countless thousands, perhaps many more, work their way up and down. The whole thing is covered in a fine layer of dust, except where there is a suspiciously half-elf shape down, bouncing off this wall, step, bouncing off that wall, and it's a spiral. So, he just kind of hit the wall, and you presume just fell a very long ways. I mean, wow, very long ways. It takes you a good couple of minutes to get to the bottom where you find the bard sprawled at the bottom, very slowly putting himself back together from the effects of the compulsion. You would guess that you've probably transcended another 4, maybe 500 yards or meters, probably, down into the surface below, and it is oppressively hot down here. Up above, the city at the upper area was warm. It went from winter to spring. The dwarven area where all the forges and the old caldera was summer-ish. And this is basically like teabagging a volcano. So it's very warm.
Okay.
As
Arizona
someone
desert in
wearing,
the middle of July.
I was gonna say, as someone wearing metal armor, I'm. Hey, how long do we have to spend down here? I'm getting a little parched.
Quick question. Because of the compulsion, did Denville even realize?
You cut out there at the end.
Sorry, did Denville even realize that I shoved him due to compulsion and?
No,
erasing-
not particularly. In fact, when he gets on up, after the compulsion fades, he finds himself standing in a completely different room with no bookshelves and also a large amount of contusions, bumps, and scrapes with no concept of how they appeared.
Vice comes down. Denville, you
Oi!
okay? You took quite a fall there.
Yeah, you
I
fell
fell?
down. Yeah, you fell down these stairs, man. We were worried about you. It's good to see you're all right.
I need a doctor.
Here's a potato.
Here's a.
I got
Give me
plenty.
that. When I find out why I fell down these stairs, there's going to be hell to pay. Hell, I say.
I mean, you can blame your shoes. You kind of just tripped.
Kind of just fell.
As
Fell.
many times as I have gotten drunk, I know for a fact I did not trip. I have learned how not to.
Okay, then how did you get down here?
I don't know.
Exactly, you tripped.
As you guys are having this enthusiastic discussion, you do notice that there is a warm orange glow at the far end of the cavern.
I do apologize for yelling, by the way, if that's loud in anyone's ears.
It's all
It's
good.
okay. I have you set to like 40% mic volume.
This is an off-air session. I'm
Oh,
gonna start heading towards the warm glow and be like, if you guys think it's a little too hot,
I'm
And
just gonna
yeah,
start dusting myself off and look to our new druid friend and be like, "Oi, make yourself useful."
I suppose I could.
I mean, you could, but it's only 5 hit points. He should suck it up. Rub some dirt on it, walk it off.
There you go. If you really need me to heal you, I can. But
Just save it from when we actually
Alright.
really need it, because as you can see, Vice tends to hurt everyone, not just the enemy.
yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about. You fell.
As you guys continue through this cavern, you notice that it is not precisely natural. It looks like once upon a time it might have been a magma tube, a very large one curving up towards the roof. The walls once probably were obsidian type of stone or volcanic pumice, but they had been sanded down and fashioned into a more arched cathedral style. Everything looks like, unlike up above where you saw that the temple had been built over various periods and had that telltale dwarven architecture on the newer parts. This is just stone, and it is ancient and well worn. But it appears to have been done by hand, where the walls have like more alcoves, but instead of the busts of the various high priests in here, these support full-size statues. No one touched them. We've already been over that. Don't touch statues. Bad idea. These support full-size statues of dwarves in very similar robes to the high priest that you saw previously, at least Vice did. A utilitarian-esque Jedi basic robes with a short beard, not trimmed but not long, holding various implements. Some of them hold staves, some of them hold like ceremonial type of hammers above their head, and all of them definitely have a look of like wizened priest types. And as you head down the corridor, yeah, that's a liquid hot magma at the far end.
Is there an altar of any kind?
There is not, but what you do see is a ancient, very, very rusty, probably not in great shape, catwalk suspended above the lava a decent distance. I mean, it's not going to cook you guys. Heading across the chasm and on into another tunnel at the far side. It's probably about 60, 70 feet above, and it's not like the lava is at floor level. It's down a little bit of a chasm, but yeah, you're looking down into at least parts of the heart of a volcano.
Hey, Denver, you want to go across this?
Turning Scottish.
You said haggard. That sounds pretty Scottish to me.
True.
And Vice, oi, I say no this time, lass. The last time you asked me to do something, I mysteriously appeared at the bottom of a staircase with whelps over me. You can take the lead on this one.
What do you think, Drusilla? Do you think it's safe?
Probably not, but I'll take the lead.
Before we take the lead, though, I want to do an Arcana check and see if that same energy that I felt before was similar to the crystal that I have. I want to see if it's further ahead past the catwalk.
Okay.
So, I just nail Arcana checks. What can I say?
Yes. It is still below you, but it is definitely in the direction that you have been traveling now.
I'm gonna keep that tidbit quiet, but yeah.
I'm gonna let y'all go first, and
That's
I insist after you.
that's fine.
One at a time, preferably.
Ladies first.
No.
I look over at Vice. Are you ready for me to go now?
Yep.
Okay. Then I go forward.
The Konosuba thumbs up.
Yep. So I go forward. I guess toward the bridge, across it, or whatever.
Okay. I'm trying to think what the skill would be for this. I'm going to need you to roll a new character. You're dead. No. Sorry. You step out onto the lattice work. It's not even a solid. It's like a catwalk of like diamond plate type of stuff with you can see down through between the woven strands of okay, think of it like a chain link fence but thicker chain, and yeah, you can see right down. The heat is oppressive, washing over you almost to the level of cooking you, but just enough that it's only severely unpleasant rather than deadly. The entire thing shakes, but slipped off my PTT key. The entire thing shakes as you step foot onto it first, even with your very light elven weight. The chains are decently thick, about the size of someone's fist, a normal person's, not your little girly fist. And as you do, they stretch a little bit as everything goes taut from your tiny little bit of weight, sending flakes of rust off of them that have accumulated over all of these potentially thousands of years, spiraling down into the chasm below. But nothing happens as you cross over it. It shakes. It's a little rickety, but it actually does appear to be very solid in actual practice.
I am now concerned. I am the heaviest person here.
You're gonna have to leave the barrel of axes.
Wait.
Throw them one at across. Throw them one at a time across. Catch.
Mortanis.
Yo.
How long is this bridge?
It's about 60 feet. It's actually wide enough for a cart to cross too. So
I am really uncomfortable. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine as I slap Hangham's back and start crossing.
okay. I mean, now that it's been crossed once, I mean, it's definitely awkward, but you can make it across. Anyone that's wearing any sort of like leather boots, which is probably all of you. It's not like you've got vulcanized rubber shoes or anything like that. Get the telltale smell of, burning leather a little bit. It sears the bottom of your boots a teeny tiny bit, but doesn't kindle them.
Hmm.
I was gonna say we could always throw everyone across if it was only 30 feet, but
I don't
Uh,
trust your strengths, consistent strength checks.
hey, when I am needed, I rise to the occasion.
Yes, but can you do it 5 times?
Yeah.
Dare we
Rough-
say we find out?
Roughneck, I think you should go next.
Yeah, I'll go. I weigh like $112, so
Everybody crosses. I mean, there's no issue. I'm not going to make you die right here. That's later on in a much more glorious fashion. So,
But I will yell to Hangum, "Don't look down,
I'm looking. I'm panicking.
Shrek! I'm looking down. I'm looking down."
all right. So presumably everybody crosses. Yeah.
Yes.
oh yeah.
Heading on into the cavern at the other side, it widens out again, and this time there is a staircase that leads on down. It's wide enough that you could probably fit 5 abreast. It's about 25 feet wide, and it goes in a series of 7 steps, a flat spot, 7 steps, a flat spot. And those of you that were astute and paid attention realized that there were 7 steps described earlier at the temple main. Proper 7 seems to have some sort of a mythical interest to whoever built this place. And no, Vice, you did not see anything about the number 7 in any of your magical Moradin books in there. As you continue on down, it then takes a 90-degree turn, continues down with the staircase, 7 steps in a flat area. At each flat area, there are alcoves on the side with even more statues. At this point, you've passed hundreds of them. And there are not alcoves, small sconce type things that don't look like they would fit torches, but perhaps some sort of a multifaceted gem, because it's got kind of a dodecahedron shape to the receptacle, but there's nothing in them, just covered with a fine layer of dust. And as you come around that 90-degree corner and even further down, you see that you are actually now on a level with where the lava was that you crossed on over. And you see that there is another, there's actually a series of catwalks and a building across from them. In fact, I'm going to copy and paste everybody to the new sheet.
Woo!
I'm going to hit the wrong key and paste everybody, so there's 2 of you.
Aha!
God.
Now Denville has a
Boys.
drinking buddy.
No, I was gonna say we have a problem. There's now 2 Vice.
I see nothing as this is nothing but a total win.
Way to go, Hulk.
Can I just point out the fact that right there at the top it says also Roughneck?
Yeah, I couldn't find the PSD file for that. It's at my work computer. And then I said I'd make a new one today, and then I didn't because I'm really lazy. So,
It's
behold,
the apocalypse.
it is fixed. Exactly.
It's the apocalypse, Mortans. We don't blame you.
Good point. No one should ever blame me. Okay, let's see here.
Whoa.
Whoa.
And then scroll all the way downward, please, sir. South, and maybe zoom out like 2. Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
We were talking about apocalypse. This is
Yeah, this is pretty accurate.
More southerly.
Fire cockroaches.
There we go.
Yeah, all right. So there you guys are, and you can see, yep, there is the chains, and they're holding up enormous chunks of rock, literally suspended above the magma, as if they were, well, I don't know, gigantic islands of rock inexplicably hung from chains. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. And that building at the farthest side does appear to sit suspended by said chains. Across the way, you can see, well, A, if you look up, you can see the pathway you guys just took. B, if you look across, you can see weird medium-sized cockroaches. Their carapaces almost looking like rusted metal, enormous antennae twitching and feeling at the air. And as soon as you guys step on out into the open precipice there, their antennae all turn towards you, bringing their heads around, and you can see that they don't really have quite what you would call clear defined eyes, but they still seem to be able to sense you. And we're actually going to say, A, let's roll for initiative, but B, we should take a stretch break right here because I ran out of water and I am getting really freaking parched with all this lava. So, can we take 5, please?
Sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm good with that.
Absolutely.
Give me just a moment.
Yeah, I went ahead and
Be
just rolled
back.
for initiative, but yeah.
Everybody, and we will be back.
And we're back, everybody. Before we get back into the session, we'd like to take this moment to remind everybody, if you're really enjoying the content here today, we do have a Discord. Could have had that ready, I guess. We do have a Discord that you can join and chat with us about the campaign off stream, or if you just want to get to know us or our team members or anyone in the community, it's there for you to join. And with that, one last thing is we do upload all our sessions to YouTube. I am a little behind with the last session right now, but we'll get caught up shortly. That'll be uploaded tonight or tomorrow. But we will have only one session behind on that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And with that, I hand it back to you, Mortanis.
All right, combat ensues. Everybody has already done the proverbial roll for initiative. So, Drusilla, you are up.
All right, let's see. I am going to shoot my magic shortbow at that one.
Roger. That is a hit. Ooh, let's see here. Yeah, that actually is pretty decent.
Cool.
Your arrow arcs through the air, zipping a direct line, hitting the side of the strange, rusty-colored cockroach, and then immediately dissolves into a fine red powder and crumbles away. But it did do damage, so.
Cool.
Hangam Windhammer.
I mean, is there any question as to what I'm doing?
Can you throw that far?
Yeah, I think it's within. I can throw 60 feet, and I think this was 50 feet.
All right, well,
There
give
it
it a go.
is.
All right, I'm hunking. Yeah. Oh,
You huck poorly. You throw the axe and it goes sailing through the air, missing, skipping off the berm embankment and tumbling down into the liquid hot magma.
all right. I'm a little rusty. All right, I'm just gonna move closer to it, 30 feet, and then that'll be my turn.
Don't worry if you're a little rusty. These things will take care of the rust problem for you.
Ha 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 ha.
Oh Lord.
All right. The right one is going to just scramble forward as soon as you've entered onto that gangplank there. The heat, I mean, you're a lot closer to the liquid hot magma down here because it's almost floor level, but hand wavy magic. Inexplicably, you don't burst into flames being only 20 feet above it. But this guy runs forward. Oh, yes, I can make it because they've got 40-foot movement. He scrambles on forward, his little insect legs skittering across the dirt, kicking up little clouds of dust, and then it goes in for the bite. And the 7 does absolutely nothing. Nayland.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna cast Entangle. And how do I do that?
Just click on the spell in your spell book.
Okay, there we go.
Boom. There's anything that's required, so it's a range of 90 foot. That's no problem.
Right.
Which one are you targeting on?
Go ahead and do the one that's right. Let's see. Probably the one that's next to.
I was gonna say, reading the spell, I think the only one you can do is the one that's not on the bridge, because it's saying from the ground. Would that be right, Mortanus?
Yeah,
That's a good
you
point.
wouldn't be able to really get it to come out of metal.
All right, so I'll do the one that's not on the bridge then.
Okay, a 20-foot square starting from a point within range. So that will be a 4x4 box, which is weird because it's not centered. So let's do, hold on. Trying to bloop. Draw it like that. Let's see if that shows up on screen. Does it?
It does.
Yeah, all right.
It does.
Yep.
Let's see for the duration. Okay, so suddenly out of the dusty, rocky, very, very dehydrated ground, thick verdant vines just detonate on up, sending a spray of pebbles and dirt everywhere, snapping around the weird cockroach-like creature, which requires me to make a strength saving throw. A 14 appears to be exactly on the dot, so I managed to break on through. A creature in the area, when you cast a spell, must succeed a strength saving throw or be restrained by the entangling plants. It is not restrained. However, how long does this last? Concentration, and now that I'm saved, it frees itself, so I don't need to worry about this again at the moment. So you can either drop it on your next turn, or maintain it, but this guy's immune at this point. So the vines snap on out, whipping through the air, and it just stealthily, sneakily steps on over them.
Dang it.
However, that place is difficult terrain, so any movement there has.
Right.
Okay. The one that just literally dodged vines is going to move on up, and you know what? They have no intelligence, effectively, so it's not smart enough to know that it should flank for the advantage bonus. So it's just going to move on up. Oh, that's the wrong button. Hold on. Forgot to change back to clicky. So it's just going to move up on Hang and Windhammer and go for the bitey bits.
Nah.
Also pretty piss poor. It goes for the bite and fails. Oh, hey, look, it's Vice. Would you like to light something? I mean, play?
I'd rather
I thought you
didn't.
never ask.
I'd rather you didn't. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Okay.
Rob
I'll
Tech,
move
get your spells
there.
ready.
And
yeah.
I'm going to cast Firebolt at this one.
Okay.
Just 3 fire damage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that'll
It
be it
takes
for my turn.
Okay. Denville, Alistair.
I'm gonna get up here next to Vice, and then I'm just gonna hang tight for a minute because I've got a feeling if I attack it with my sword, having seen what happened to the arrow, I don't want to lose my weapon.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Like, I'm just
Oh.
gonna assume that's the case. Or can I do like a, what would be the check for these? I'm wondering. would it technically be an investigation, nature, or survival check?
This being a straight beast would be a nature check.
Okay, I'm gonna do a nature check to see if I can figure out what these things are strong and weak against, and any other things I may need to know about them.
A 14 reveals that, yeah, you might have heard about these. They're some sort of a rust monster that consumes metal for breakfast, lunch, and or dinner. Anything metal that is non-magical will likely be consumed. Now, to be fair, thank you for that follow. Very much appreciated. To be fair, it doesn't immediately consume it unless it's something very small like an arrow. It will whittle away at your armor and weapons. But yes, very bad idea.
Okay, so in that case, then would I still be able to move the additional 15 feet and then attack, or since I did a nature check, would that be my main action?
In this case, generally a skill check in combat is an action, but since you're just using a quick little bit of knowledge, I'm just going to say that you were thinking while walking.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and hang tight for this turn. And I'll
Okay.
go ahead and say that was my main action, just to be fair.
Okay. All right. Now this is entirely awkward. This is entirely not my fault. But let me just review. I'm just going to right click this figure and move it to the token. Look who stopped right next to an invisible enemy. Wasn't me.
Mm, appreciate that.
Oh, hold on.
What now?
Suddenly, it decloaks off of your port bow and enlarges, growing enormous from medium to large. Its body, ropey muscles thickening with sinew as it pulls a enormous now war pick and just hammers it right into the back side of Vice's skull. Will a 17 hit your AC?
Yes, it will.
It got advantage because of the surprise, it attacked from
Yeah.
invisible. Warpick Biggie sized does 11 points of piercing skull damage.
Ah, damn it.
Give me a second to add some initiatives here.
Duragar.
You have no idea how many there are. Ignore the 3 extra rolls I just did.
Oh my god.
I only know there's one big one that just caved in part of my skull.
To be fair, it picked in part of your skull. It's a pointy, it didn't smash. Drusilla. Suddenly, beside Vice, you see a dwarf, and then suddenly it is now a giant, not a dwarf. But its coalish black skin and very, very fancy white beard makes it look like what's the never mind, that's from the Office of Wat Pete. Yeah, that's scary. What do you want to do?
Okay, I'm going to use chromatic orb on it.
Okie dokie. A 13 will not hit its AC.
That's it.
Okay. No move, no anything else?
Nope, no, it's this time.
Okay. Something you can't see go. Stupid dwarves and their stupid slow movement.
So, quick question. Even though it didn't hit, it still uses up a spell slot, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
You still cast it. It just fizzled.
Okay.
Something ripples through the grasping vines that are still there because Roughneck has yet to release the spell, but manages to break free. You can actually see it attempting to assault a shape of nothingness, and then, nothing happens. Hang him, Windhammer!
I'm gonna go for the effect of cool, judging by how close that roach is to the edge there, and I'm going to this is Sparta. Kick it off.
Okay. Let's see. Go ahead and give me a. Well, it would be a strength check with your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
There is an about to shove action, so this is perfect.
Oh, on my screen it went from 14. Okay, it did it on that one too. 14 and then rolled to that 4. You heft up the boot and give it a swift old kick, but your leather just slides off the metallic carapace, almost catching it, but not quite. That would have been really damn cool. You don't have an inspiration point or anything to make that reroll, do you?
I do actually.
You could give it a reroll if you would like.
I
Inspiration points are only one off, and you can't get another one until you use it. So,
I really
By the
want
way,
this.
If you have a proficiency in athletics, you can use athletics on this. Technically, it's an athletics or
oh, okay. If you, do you have the proficiency?
Yes, I do.
Oh, there you go. All right, so go ahead and consume your point of inspiration. Heft up that boot and shoving a creature using the special melee attack action. Yeah, that's a bunch of words to say. I boot it in the face and slide it off the edge. Yeah, your boot connects with a sickening crunch of carapace, vaguely metallic-like. Flecks of rusted metal spray off of it as it flips onto its back in midair and does a twist, half gainer, and then sinks with a little boop into the liquid hot magma. Doesn't sink right away. I mean, rock is pretty viscous, and it's little 6 legs scrambling as it slowly just Terminator 2's down into the metal. Dun 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 dun.
Hannah giving a thumbs up.
A tiny little like.
Very,
Sweet.
very well played. That is how you think outside the box and use the world to your advantage. All right, not too bad. You do have a move technically, but remember, withdrawing is a action, so you'd take an attack of opportunity if you move.
What do I do here? Can I use?
That's
Can I substitute my movement for another attack?
Unfortunately, not.
Okay.
Not unless there's
I would just
something
hang
in
tight,
your
dude.
ability that specifically allows it.
Let's see. Let me see. No.
Nope.
Okay. That's
You're
my
a
turn.
fighter, though, right?
Yeah.
Good action surge, but I would probably advise against it right now.
Oh yeah, action surge is something that you and Drusilla have.
I'm not going to use it on a cockroach though.
True. Good point. And it's a good thing you had leather booties there, so
Yeah.
it really sucked to go barefoot on this grill. Literally, you're standing on a George Foreman.
just like, hey, guys, do you smell burning flesh by any chance?
I mean,
It's
it'd
just
be
like-
worth it to yeet a cockroach into the lava. Burn the feet. All right. Cockroach's turn. Nope, it's dead. All right. It is Durger's turn. That is right there next to Vice. It is still embiggened. So it is just going to go ahead and war pick.
Adios, team.
Will a 17 hit you?
Yep.
Crunch.
And collapse.
Oh my
With
God.
2 deft swings of its enormous person-sized pickaxe, it just claws at Vice's skull like a little bit of rock candy, cleaving it open. Vice drops. The Durger gives out a large triumphant roar and then says something in a language that I don't think anyone here speaks. Maybe Vice did. I don't think anyone speaks Ignan.
No.
That's a no for me.
All right. Vice, did you speak Ignan before you went unconscious?
I speak Infernal, so.
Okay. It's slightly different, but yeah. All right. So, Nayland. You got them heals ready? The whole reason that you were brought within this party? Don't heal him. He can fend for himself.
You're muted, Roughneck.
Or it's not picking up at least.
Yeah. We can't hear you. We still can't hear you. Can you hear us? I hope so. Otherwise, it's been an awkward 15 minutes.
Yeah, you can hear
Oh.
us apparently. Slight technical malfunction.
Hey, OIT, have you tried turning it off and on again? Nope.
Now we're all gone.
Alice is doing that.
I'm not doing anything.
Palace on stream, it shows only you and Roughneck right now.
Oh, sorry, 1 second. Well,
Technical
something
difficulties.
messed up. I'm not sure what.
Yes, definitely something messed up. That is very
It
true.
could be Discord. I know they have a lot of people using it right now
Yeah, that's a
to
good point.
conference with each other with the social distancing, so we could just be experiencing a problem there.
But why would it be Roughneck? Because I mean,
Because it's his time to shine.
him and Mortanis are the two furthest away from me distance-wise, and Lumberjack Alley.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
I don't know.
I still can't hear him either.
Yeah.
Yep, typing will be good.
Okay, well, at least he can hear us. I mean, you can drop and reconnect without having to restart the call. The only one that can't drop would be Palace, so
Yeah.
you might want to try that real quick. And then we could fix the other problem potentially.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and restart my camera and see if that'll fix it.
Ooh, okay, so there we go. And
Hello.
Rofanek is
Hey.
back. Oh, hey, we hear you.
Hey.
Hello.
All right. All right.
Hey, perfect. We can hear you again.
All right,
Okay, so it's the Discord call.
Yeah.
Now, what about everybody else? We should probably one at a time reconnect then, huh?
It didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't?
I've restarted my camera and it didn't do it, so.
Okay. Interesting, that fixed the mic issue, but not the camera issue.
Okay, I'm gonna try reconnecting and see if that'll do it. So give me 1 moment.
We can keep playing while we're doing this too. We'll try and figure it out. So
Right. So as I was trying to say, can I not heal Vice if she's like down and out?
you can.
Yeah, you
I
can.
can. Okay.
Yeah. We only start counting heals from 0 hit point. So even if she was at negative 3,000, well, she would be very dead at that point. But yeah, you can heal
Right.
as long as you've got the spell. So
Okay, I'm back in and I don't see it refreshing.
yeah.
It's
So-
not no BS. So
We might have to kill the Discord call and restart it at that point, unfortunately.
Uh-oh.
Should we go do a temporary be right back scene and see if
yeah, let's do
Yeah,
that.
we
real
should
quick.
probably throw up the BRB. Okay, for those of you that are still listening, technical difficulties, give us a couple of minutes to work this out, and we will be right back after these messages.
All right.
I mean, if he wants to
Gross.
be in the group, he's going to save the day. So
No pressure, Roughneck.
There we go.
Hey!
These technical issues were brought to you by the Hobo Slayers Discord. If you want to talk,
join up and be friends. All right, Nayland, what you got for us?
All right. I'm gonna sidle up to Vice and cast cure wounds on her,
All right.
and hope
Okay.
that the giant dwarf thing with the huge pick doesn't have a reach that they can crack my skull open too.
Okay. I would recommend standing to the right of Vice. That's right on the precipice, and someone could, right there. Because
Yep,
otherwise,
that's where I was
it
gonna
would be
go.
adjacent.
How do I do that? Just hit select move.
Yeah, little mouse, and then drag yourself on
Gotcha.
up there.
And then boop right there. All right.
All right. Blast me with your healing magic. Let's go.
All right. Here we go. Cure wounds. Oh. Yeah, we'll do level 1. Bloop. There you go.
So you'll have to roll because you don't have it set up as like a cast as opposed to a
Yeah,
spell
you're.
card.
We'll probably have to help you with the macro
Yeah.
on that one. Yes. So right now, just roll R/R 1d8 plus. What is it, Druid spellcast wisdom?
Yes.
Spell attack
Okay.
bonus should be proficient. I think proficiency added as well.
Yes.
Oh no, it's
So-
an ability modifier by itself, so not the
Okay.
spell attack bonus. So yeah, whatever your modifier is for your spell casting, add that to your 1d8. So that's 7 plus what's your modifier? What's your wisdom?
For wisdom, hold on a second. It is going to be 4.
Oh snap, that's 11.
Okay. So in the future, you can do it like that. Just letting you know.
Oh, okay.
Woo! I got new life in me.
All right. Not too shabby. And hey, you already removed the X. That was cool. You can do that, huh?
Yeah, we can add our own little markers and things like that.
Right. I forgot about that. All right. So the doodad has proven effective. For those that don't know why I call it a doodad, does anybody read the R.A. Salvatore Dritz books way back in the day? Or recently, I guess you could. Oh, he also had the second series that he did in Forgotten Realms with Catterley, the priest of Ogma or something. And there was a dwarven druid, and it was his brother couldn't pronounce druid, so it was dwarven doodad. It was the cleric quintet. In any case, let's see which one is this one. Is the one that is still on Hangam Windhammer, not the one in the liquid hot magma. So it's going to go for the bite. Yes, I'm going to keep doing liquid hot magma every time.
I don't.
All I want to ask though, Mortans, is where's the freaking sharks with the freaking laser beams on their heads?
Now,
Don't
evidently,
give
my
the damn
cycloptic,
ideas.
evidently my cycloptic colleague tells me that we don't have any. Honestly, what do I pay you people for? I think an 8 is just gonna suck. I haven't managed to land a single bite, so
These are just I'm just like just staring at these things. Like I guess I could just leave this alone.
why is everybody so afraid of these things? Look, nothing happens. Vice, you are alive and prone.
Vice angry.
Oh, here we go.
So first off,
Flame on!
flame on.
No! Me and Roughneck are right next to her. That'll hurt us too.
No, it just ignites me on a mantle of flame. You're fine.
It's like a cape.
I thought it was one of them deals where it hurts everyone that's within 5 feet of you.
If it hits you with a melee attack from within 5 feet. So if I punch
Yeah.
him, I get burned. But as long as you guys
Okay.
don't attempt to punch her, everything's okie doke.
Hands off.
Okay, good.
I will say she does do a good job of at least attempting not to purpose.
You
I do.
say that, but she just yeeted me down a staircase.
Hey, you don't know
That's
that.
not burning.
You don't know that,
doesn't
though.
count.
I'm saying I don't know that in character, yes, but outside of it, yeah, I know. Danzig,
Yeah.
you son of a gun.
And I'll burn a first level spell slot to, no, not 2, 1 to do burning hands on this thing.
All right, angling straight up, a 10 points
14.
of fire
It's
with the bonus.
yes. But I'm also that'll all depend on this thing. So it's gonna be a 14 deck save. Let me check the dice rolls on that. A 2 and a 4 and a 4. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. So that's 10 plus 4 for my charisma modifier, So that's 14 fire damage if they can't beat a 14 deck save.
I
Well, it
make it
beats it 7.
7.
And I'll use
Yep.
half of my movement to stand up and adjust to about here.
Okay. Still in a threatened square. No AOO. All good.
Uh-oh.
And that'll be my turn.
Denville.
All right. Since I'm right next to this thing, I'm gonna move up and attack. Let's see. I'm gonna move right
Dude, shove it
here.
into the fire.
Can I yeet it? Even though it's right next, since it's right next to the edge, can I kick it or shove it or something?
I mean, you could attempt to grapple it and throw it. There are no specific grapple rules as we established. It's just basically rule of cool with some strength checks involved.
Okay.
But keeping in mind, it is large and its strength is biggie sized right now. So
But shoving a creature, the limitation on shoving is it can't be no more than only one size larger than you, and that's what that is.
yeah, so you could attempt it, but if you fail, it might just shoulder shrug you into the lava. Liquid hot magma.
But how's it gonna do it when I'm not angled that way?
Because it would wrap its arms around you and just chuck you.
You would be the one to be yeeted.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it safe. I'm just gonna attack it.
All right.
Let's go with a longsword two-handed strike.
That is definitely a hit. Ooh, not too bad. Has no resistances, so it takes all of that.
Sweet.
It's looking decently haggard, but still standing.
I say the Scottish is rubbing off on Mortanis.
Oh, I say haggard all the time, though.
Good point.
I just think of Hagrid. So I thought you were gonna say Hagrid. I didn't know. So I was that.
Okay. I gotta ask because I technically don't know, and I'm gonna sound like an imbecile. Is Hagrid British or Scottish? Because I want to say he's Scottish.
I think he's Scottish.
I mean, he's half giant, so I don't know what his other half is. But remember, though, it was his mom that was the giant.
I bet his dad was a bard.
What the? anyone else knows
that
where
was
it appeared?
definitely a drunk night for his dad. Yeah,
But a legendary tale.
indeed. Let's see, Drusilla. Hey, how you doing? I'm going to be
Uh-oh.
Technically, I've revealed it, but the attack reveals it. So advantage on Warpick Biggie size to the old Brainal region. Will a 22 hit your? Yeah, that's not pretty bad. 8 points of gigantic pick to the face.
Okay.
So yeah, it appears out of nothingness, a sudden pop of displaced air as it becomes visible, and you have a split second to notice a pick literally as tall as you, whistling through the air and just catches you right on the side of the head. That hurt. Drusilla, it is also your response now.
Okay. I'm looking at my. I'll figure out what I can do here.
Like I said, dying is a free action.
I'd rather not do that. I'm going to attempt chromatic orb on the one that just attacked me.
Okay.
Nope.
You summon a little teeny tiny orb, and because of the pick to the face, the blood gets in your eye, and you just shoot it off into a random direction, just blowing your wad all over. Nowhere useful. Any movement?
No, because it offers the opportunity of attack.
I mean, yeah, as long as you don't leave a threatened square, you could shimmy around it, and you'd be flanking with Denville. Just put that out there. That would get you in advantage on
Over-
melee attacks, anyway.
Over to
Yeah, right
here?
there.
Okay.
Yeah, for large creatures, it's side to side. So even the square to the left of it would still not that one.
Wait.
Yeah, either that one or the one to the right of that square would be counting as flanking. Yes.
Cool. All right, I'll do that.
All right. So Denville or Drusilla on melee attacks and melee attacks only, you would get advantage.
Cool. That's it for me.
Alrighty,
Alright.
hang him.
So on the
Oh, it's not Hangum's turn. Oh no, what is this? Oh snap! Another one has appeared.
I
This
don't-
one,
I don't
this
want
one can't make himself large. Wait, hold on. Let me rephrase that. He can. I was lying.
Hortense, what do we do to make you mad?
Hey, this is a perfectly acceptable. Actually, I made this encounter before we added a fifth player. So, yeah. I mean, remember what happened last time? You guys came out victorious when someone soloed a CR3. Just pull some of that magic. All right.
Look at me.
Wow. Advantage, and I got a 5 and a 6. How shit is that? So apparently, it's not the rust monsters that are crap. It's just anything attacking Hangam Windhammer is just gonna fail. Oh, and I forgot to ask, Nayland, have you been concentrating on the spell the entire time, or did you let that go now? Oh, you cast another spell, so but it wasn't concentration. I think you could still do that.
Yeah, you can, as long as you don't cast another concentration spell.
Another concentration, yeah.
Or if you get hit, you have to make a con saving throw of above 10 to keep your concentration. Which hasn't been hit yet, so. Up to you if you dropped your entanglement spell yet.
Yeah. Is it up?
Yeah, might as well because it's not doing any good.
Goodbye, entanglement.
Okay, now Hangam Windhammer, surrounded on, well, technically 1.5 sides.
All right. So I was thinking about this before I got surprised by this dude, but now I have an even better opportunity because I assume by how big he is, this man is on the edge of the bridge.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do, because I wanted to pick up this cockroach and throw it at the one that was attacking everyone,
Oh boy.
but now I'm going to pick up this cockroach and using him as a battering ram on this dude, and hopefully with the momentum of that and just how close he is to the edge, lose balance and they both go, and I'd solve all my problems.
All right, go ahead and give me a strength check with your proficiency bonus if you want to pick up the rust monster.
Athletics is also a thing.
Oh, yeah. I guess if you're picking it up and yeeting. Well, that is actually pretty decent. Yeah, I'm going to say that you managed to grab it by a couple of spindly little insect legs, pick it up, and if you want, you can now spin it around and slam into Mr. Durger there and try to throw them both off.
Yes, sir. What would you like me to roll? Just attack or strength again?
Athletics
Yeah,
for shove.
Athletics?
yeah.
again?
Yep. Oh.
Whoa.
That is pretty good. All right. So let's see here. Let's do some damage to both of the creatures first before we figure out where things lay. So what is its hit dice? We'll use that. Okay. All right. Let's do some damage.
All right. What should I roll?
Nothing.
Oh, okay, you got it.
All right. So you deal 11 points of damage to the rust monster with the rust monster. Yeah.
Question is, how much did the Durgar take, and if it takes any damage, did it also lose its AC?
What do you mean lose its AC?
Well, because the rust monster's antenna would evaporate its armor, and it is wearing scale mail. So, yep, we got it. We got a couple more steps to go on through. So you slam the rust monster into the Durger, which takes an 11 points of damage there. Then I got to do this. DC saving throw deck. Whoop, still on advantage. Hold on. That would have been really bad. Okay, this is the real roll. All right, we're definitely have to invoke Rule of Cool on this one. Yeah, so you slam it face first right into the Durger, which the antennas, as you know, the thing is dying and it's thrashing throws in your hands. Antennas just rakes across the scale mail and straight up dissolves it, leaving a more or less naked, gigantic dwarf. I'm going to use those words, gigantic dwarf, standing on next to you. And then let's see, you got a 25 on the athletics check. So I am going to have to, I don't have athletics. I think that's going to be a strength saving throw to not plummet to my death. Let's see here. What should the DC be? I am going to say that since you rolled a 19 plus 6 for your bonus, that I need to get a strength check that is equal to your athletics in this case, minus the proficiency. So I need a 19 or higher on the strength check to not go into the lava. We're going full Rule of Cool because I rolled a nat 1 on my dex check. I am already off balance from getting bashed.
So would that mean you roll with disadvantage?
No,
Oh, that didn't matter.
no. Unfortunately, even when it's biggie sized, the keep in mind that that is actually at +4, not +2. That's not even remotely close. Yeah, you slam it, and it just collapses into the lava. It gives you a final curse in some sort of weird dwarf language, Ignan in this case, and it splashes on down. It as it sinks slowly, it goes for the Terminator 2 middle finger, though.
All right. As my final action, I turn around to the other two and just give out an insane war cry of just, just.
All right, well played. Yeah, you. Wow. Really cool. Let's see. It is the one next to Vice who has noticed that Vice has gotten up and is doing little roly things next to it, and it's just, yeah, it's annoyed. With a bestial roar that very much mirrors the one that Hangam just gave. It hefts up its pickaxe, two-handed, and brings it down onto your skull. 14, will it hit?
It meets, so it hits.
Oh.
It's going to be almost max damage. A 16 to the old face. Stay down, it says in Ignan. Hey, Nayland, guess what? It's your turn. Power word potato.
Yes, but okay. I'm trying to position myself where I'm not gonna get nailed by one of these guys.
Oh, make
Hang
him
on,
take
do you
damage
have-
from me.
Do you have which one is it? I know there's
I'm gonna
Cure
have to
Wounds
do,
and Healing Word, I think.
yeah,
it
I'm
is?
gonna have to do healing word because I'm not gonna take a pick to the skull. So
Fair.
Yeah.
yeah, healing word on Vice.
Oh, yeah, 4 damage for fire. Still standing.
Yep. Healing word time. 1d4 plus your 4. So go ahead and get that 1d4 roll.
There we go.
And you can just type out this and it would work. Oh, max healing from me.
All
Yeah,
right, so
I'll learn all that later.
8 points of Healy bits. Not bad. You regain consciousness once again, staring up at a giant dwarf once again. It's like freaking Groundhog Day all up in this thing. Any movement? Or you still have a primary action. I mean, that was a bonus.
Right.
You could technically move, attack, whatever you feel like doing, Roughneck.
Gosh, I don't know. I have a cantrip that says it's one bonus action. Can I use that?
You already used your bonus action.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
can you sack a primary action as a second bonus? I cannot recall.
No, there's only one bonus, one action.
I believe, yeah, it's
Oh,
only
okay.
one bonus action, and nothing can transform into that.
But if you have a cantrip, also with spell casting, you can cast one cantrip and one spell if they're action bonus action, but you can't cast 2 spells.
Okay.
So-
How about I cast Thorn Whip on the giant dwarf that's already been injured.
Yeah, you can do that.
Do
Sure.
that, and that is
Also, if you wanted to go one step further, you could readjust because you're not in attack of range. You can go here, Thorn Whip him within range, and then drag him 10 feet into the lava pit.
Oh, that could be
Oh,
useful.
yeah.
Are you saying I shouldn't have made an encounter around environmental factors? Because it seems to be pretty bad. All right, so are you going to do that move first, as Vice outlined, perhaps?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead
that
and move
sounds good to
yourself.
me.
Let's see. If the attack hits, so you need to make a melee attack.
Yep.
So I have to move next to him.
I would move either, you would move here or here, and you'll be in range, and then you can cast your spell to a hit.
I see. I see what you're saying. I got you.
And a melee spell attack's the same as a ranged spell attack. It's just for melee damage.
So like here is good.
That's
Yeah.
good, because then if you hit it, and it doesn't, if the creature is large or smaller, which it is large, you pull the creature up to 10 feet closer than you. 10 feet closer to you would be right there.
Right.
All right, so
like
yeah,
that.
you need to make a. We established that it's wisdom for your
Wisdom plus
yes.
proficiency.
spellcasting. So wisdom plus proficiency bonus.
Yep.
Which is 4 still. So
4 plus 2, so it would be a +6 to hit.
oh yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so what do I do?
Forgot your level. Roll hit wisdom and then add 6 to
wisdom.
it.
Okay.
2 for your proficiency and the other for your wisdom. Okay. So that
That's
is
a
a
12.
16. No.
No,
Oh, because it's already in there. You're right.
so it's a 12 to
Yeah.
hit.
The wisdom's already in there. So unfortunately, a 12 will not hit the Durger.
Dang it.
That would have been so dang epic. And unfortunately, you don't have an inspiration point yet to do that. So yeah, you cast out a vine-like whip, and it just flails ineffectually around the gigantic dwarf and misses.
Dang it.
It was a good idea, though. Good try.
Yeah.
Let's see. It looks like that is a very dead roach. Yep, it crumpled into a pile right there at the edge of the thing. So, Vice, it is your turn.
He says, "Stay down." I look him dead in the eye and say, "You will burn."
Well, he said it in Ignan, so you're not 100% sure what he said, but it had that connotation. to it.
Paraphrasing. I could
Yeah.
fuck you.
All right.
Here. And in a straight 30-foot line here, I cast Agonizer Scorcher.
All right. It looks like it misses both Denville and Drusilla. Ooh. 9.
I disagree. I take one sorcerer point to re-roll that one.
Okay.
And let's see what else I get on the damage. So let's see that 8. It's 4 plus 4 plus 2. Not much better, but still 1 point more. That's 10 plus my 4 and my charisma, so that's 14 fire damage if it can't dodge this.
Okay. Oh, it looks like I did not dodge. And the
that
second one,
as well.
the furthest one. Oh, that was almost a 20. All right. So both of them take the full, what did we say it was?
14.
Holy crap. Okay.
And that's just I'm just like hands erupting a line of fire, just like in a straight line, just erupting from the ground over on them.
Okay. The one that's been playing tetherball with your skull just catches fire and goes down. Just entirely no problem. Its scale mail sears to its blackened flesh and gets blacker as it collapses on down there. And then Denville feels the racing flames passing just inches from his face as it rolls over the other dwarf, dealing about, give or take, half-life damage, as you can see there. The dwarf screams in agony as its face lights on up, half of the fat bubbling and melting away, leaving its eye socket hollow there. Very nicely done. Anything else?
You can say free action or bonus action. I kind of want to take this war pick, and I want to just like take like a brush, like a board, like a deck brush, and just brush it into the flames, like off
Just,
the chasm.
Swish, and roll the body into the liquid hot magma.
Yes,
Okay.
and then spit
Yep.
on it as it burns.
Just a nice little cleanup there. This one does not pull a T2. It falls face first into the lava, already dead, and just sinks until its ass is the only thing sticking up, and then that vanishes below the surface too.
Does it do what the human body does and let out a shit as it dies?
Wow. No. We're gonna let some dignity still exist here.
I think that's out the window considering it's face down, ass up already, Mortanis.
Yes, that's true. Denville.
Face.
Yeah, you just saw that gigantic torch ripping past your face there.
I'm gonna be like, oh crap, there's another one, and I'm gonna swing at it.
Still one there. Yeah. It just taps you on the shoulder. Hey, what's up?
No, you gotta remember, I was focused on the one that Vice was having to deal with, and this one appeared technically behind me. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
say the flames is what caught my attention to it, because as they're going past, I'm going, oh, oh! So let me click on
Dodge
my
this.
two-handed.
17 is
17?
barely a hit.
Ooh.
No wonder I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, surprisingly, I mean, they simplified all the rules. So unlike previous editions where enlarging changed your AC and all of that sort of stuff, it no longer does most of that. So, yeah, it's still pretty good AC. It's 5 slashing though, not too shabby. That pushes it to whisper close to death. Any movement or any other action?
No, because if I move away from it, take an AOO, and I'm not risking it. This thing's already, one of these things has already slapped Vice, our more powerful party member. I'm just gonna stay put.
True. Well, hey, guess what? It is its turn, and it's pissed. It's angry at the outrage that has been suffered to its two friends. Literally witnessed you. Oh my God, you guys. Losing my ability to speak here tonight. Literally witnessed Hangum beating its friend with its pet, and then literally witnessed Vice just kind of casually kicking another one into the fire after burning it. So it is going to provoke 2 attack of opportunities, one from Denville, one from Drusilla, as it moves on up to make Vice pay for a third and final time. So both of you guys can take your AOO. And by the way, it is still at advantage. It is still. Oh, we forgot. Denville, you had advantage on that last swing also because you were flanking. But 22 is going to be a hit regardless.
Okay, so you want me to just leave
Roll
that?
again in
Don't
case you
re-roll?
crit.
Yeah, you should roll again just in case you get a nat 20.
Okay, I'll go ahead and roll again.
And then Drusilla, go ahead and make a melee combat attack with advantage, please. Okay. You know, it was worth it because if you had gotten the crit, that would have been hilarious. So your two-handed does go, and the rapier does miss.
Okay.
Unfortunately. So go ahead and roll damage.
Ooh.
9 slashing. Yeah, it had 7 hit points left. So as it stomps its way, roaring past you, your blade flicks on out and neatly parts its head from its shoulders. You don't even have to swing. You just kind of hold it out in front, and it basically Red Rovers its head clean off on your weapon.
Where do you think you're going?
Rover, send the Durger right. Nope, it's dead.
Yep. I stare it down as it falls to its death, and then I kick its head off into the lava.
Not too shabby. Yeah, I mean, these things did hit like a tank, but they literally had a +4 attack, which did not get better when they grew in size. So 2d8 plus 2 ain't no small amount of damage, but +4 to hit meant that they didn't do too terribly well. And apparently, the rust monsters were basically trash mobs in this encounter. They did absolutely nothing except facilitate the death of another character. So that was great.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Proud of you, buddy. Proud of you.
Because
Yes.
I want to say I did have, so before I even knew that thing was coming, I was like, all right, well, this thing is not doing anything to me, so I might as well just have some fun with it and pick it and throw it at the one.
That's basically the same thought process I had when I threw the monk. So believe me, I'm right there with you, bud, and I'm proud of you.
I like that Hangam was probably thinking, I've seen this work once before. Let's see if it can. And it did. Wow. Hey guys, we should spec into beating people with people. It's way better. All right. So I'm assuming everybody wants to cross on over to the far side, and then what do you guys want to do? Short rest
Wait.
continue on?
Don't we technically have a fourth one we have to fight though, or are we just going to
They
say
only
we
rolled
don't know
3
that at the moment?
initiatives.
No, I only added 3 additional Durger. So
Why would you
Okay.
want to add another thing to fight?
No, I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure because I didn't want us to fall
His
into.
vice still wants blood.
more XP. So anyone that wants to heal can spend hit dice to heal on up right now.
I turned to Denville. I was like, "Did you see that shit?"
I did, laddie, and I'm proud of you for it.
Wow.
It's just not a very good roll for regaining hit
Oh,
points. But I
where are all
mean,
my hit
you're
die?
basically full, so
Yes.
You know what? I'll go ahead and spend a hit dice for myself as well, just in case.
Quick question. So mine has a total of 4, but below it has 2. Is that
what do you mean a
because?
total of 4 and below it is a 2? Like on your character sheet, it's probably because you've used 2 and hadn't restored them last long rest.
Oh, okay.
So you should have only 1 spent hit die right now.
Okay. There we go.
Dang, sniper eye rolling high on that. Well, I guess mediocre and really good con.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Indeed.
I mean, I'm back at max health, and I didn't have to burn a spell slot in order to do so.
All right, so the question now is, would you like to continue?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I'm feeling jazzed, so I'd like to keep going.
He's in a bloodlust, and meanwhile, Vice is just angry.
My mantle of flame also would have been out by now, so just I'm still seething with burning rage, but I'm at least internalizing it a little more.
If I see another one of those cockroaches, I'm gonna keep it as a weapon.
Nice.
Hey,
Wait. If he breaks off one of the cockroach's legs, can it still technically get rid of metal with the
No,
blood,
it's
kind of like the
it's
acid?
it's the antenna, and they cease to function once it's dead. Many a player has attempted to try that. Many a player.
Okay, I didn't know if it was kind of like Alien versus Predator, where you could take a piece of the alien and just kind of have fun with it.
Not in this case, no.
if
All right, so
if we do a short rest, will that reset my spells?
no, long rest only,
Long
unfortunately.
rest only. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm good to go then.
Okay. So you guys cross the gangplank and then head into the temple proper. Notably, the temple does have a bit of a look like the um, shape of the temple upstairs. Not the big one, the more ostentatious, the larger one that's obviously been built later, but the shape of the library, the original one. You get the impression, or at least anybody that's taken a little bit to think about it, is that someone definitely sealed off the passage down below, and either through deliberate obfuscation or just through simple time, the dwarves above forgot that there was even a lower portion because they believe that all of this area is a myth. So someone cast that illusion, and apparently no one has thought much about getting beyond that in a very long time. But the shape of this building is very reminiscent of the temple above, so it does appear to have been a deliberate build. Now, the fact that dark dwarves, Durgar, are down here is kind of an interesting question nonetheless. But as you head on into the building, we continue. So you find a series of large corridors. They're about 25 feet wide, perfectly flat, and the building here is all volcanic stone with iron plate over it, giving it more of a warlike look, a very militaristic type of feel. Instead of the alcoves with priestly type of things, immediately within there's a single statue, probably about 30 feet tall, made of probably bronze. It's hard to tell. It's if so, it's supporting the heat very well. Of a very militaristic dwarf in kind of a forward pose, one leg stretched forward, a enormous shield about 15 feet tall on its left hand, held off to the side, and then over its head is a very decent sized warhammer. And it has a challenging look about its face, despite everything else that you'd seen, where some of the area felt like it would had suffered from age and pitting and volcanic gases and stuff. This statue looks meticulous, very well maintained, and obviously lovingly oiled because there is a sheen of some sort of oil atop its surface. And then beyond, you see a stone pathway, like actual brick terracotta type of work, leading towards a arched pathway, flanked on either side by pedestals carved of stone with stone reliefs of books atop them. Like literally, it looks like someone carved an open book on each of them on either side of the doorway, and they are proper size. They look to be normal book size, but and then further in, you can see more orange glow of liquid hot magma and the distant sound of ringing chains and steel on steel.
Or those damn shadow dwarves.
We should go fuck them up.
Should go fuck them up.
Aye, I guess we're moving down the corridor with these two.
Let's try and keep quiet and keep our eyes peeled because they just came out of nowhere last time.
All that
Oh.
invisibility.
Oh boy.
All right, Scrolly scrolls down.
I know we can't technically. Can we see this? Can we see the Zeus like dude there?
Yeah, at this point, there's enough light in the area that there's no fog of war or anything. It is just absolutely full up of light type of things. So there at the very far end of the room, as you can see, it's kind of a pentagonal shaped platform suspended above the actual literal heart of the volcano. As you guys walk on in, the ground rumbles beneath your feet, sending little bits of rock and detritus tumbling on down from the roof, pinging off of all of the stonework and the chains, and that is an enormous earthquake. Suddenly, the caldera, the actual volcano lava down there, begins to roil as if agitated by something, splashing on up and sending surging waves through its rippling on surface. And then as you look, yes, at the far end, there is a contraption, a device that siphons up magma from the center and sends it into that, I don't know, we'll call it a aqueduct of lava, and seems to be running it through a series of machines that uses the heat and induction to kind of spin some gears, and it seems to be running some sort of strange machinery that you cannot see, but you can hear running behind all the walls on in here. And there, in the dead center, does appear to be a pristine anvil of some sort of strange metal. It shines with a kind of a pewter-like metallic, but gives no reflection whatsoever. It almost has a look of glowing, but it does not have reflections. And there are a big ol' amount of those Durger. And that dwarf with the Zeusy type of look is actually a Durger, but I didn't have another icon for it. And he glances at you as you walk on in. He is wearing, while the other Durger are wearing their scale mail, he has the exact same type of robes as seen up above, the Jedi Bedouin monk type of a thing, except he's also got a fairly large staff and an amulet of a 5-point pentagram on his chest, and he looks as you guys walk in, absolutely confused. Good evening.
Hello.
Oh,
All right.
Nothing good.
Now we going full Obi-Wan and going, hello there.
Well,
I mean, he's
wasn't-
talking to
we-
us. That's a first for
I
us.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was ready to like pull out my axe. And he's like, "Hello there." And I'm like, "Hi." All right. Okay. Before we talk, Cohen, let's not talk about the fact that we just murdered the things outside. Okay. We are just wanderers. We got lost or something. It's just we didn't kill anything.
It's
I
that
don't
Bugs
know
Bunny. It
about
looks
that.
like I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. The dwarf looks at you
Oh.
entirely curious and, have they sent you? And he's got a weird, he's actually speaking Dwarven, but I know a couple of you can speak Dwarven, yes? At least
Yes.
one?
Me.
Ken.
Okay, so there's at least 2 players.
Okay, hang
But
on.
his accent of Dwarven is just so weird, but you can understand him. And yeah, there was a request.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think. Let me double check my spells. Can I technically use comprehend languages to both hear what he's saying and to try to translate what I'm wanting to say back to him?
I don't remember. Give me a second.
Okay.
You understand it, but you still can't speak it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can pull it up right there for you.
Do we say yes?
I was gonna say I could try to BS here. I am a bard. I have, a good amount of charisma and such.
I mean, we already speak Dwarven, so.
Go for
Some-
it. Let
some
Drusilla
do.
Let Drusilla have the conversation, guys. She speaks Dwarven.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Hello. don't know who you're talking about, so the answer is most likely no.
The foul creatures that call themselves dwarves up above. Those that claim that they are Moradin's chosen and favored.
Oh yeah, they only know we're here.
You have not been sent to stop us.
No, we didn't even know you were here.
Then why have you arrived at our temple at the moment of our at the moment of our climax? Sorry.
We're adventurers. We just saw something interesting and went toward it.
You saw something interesting. Well, my strange little pointed-eared friend, allow me to show you something even more interesting. Perhaps you will even write very impressive stories about this moment. The moment when the world was remade and our kind, he was going to say Durger, but that's not actually the word they used for them. We're taking it back. When our kind are no longer second-class citizens, hidden away beneath the surface and forced to live as chattel, as sheep. Well, they probably wouldn't know what sheep are. As pigs that give us the delicious bacon that all dwarves love.
Well, we do have a bard, so it's perfect for your story.
Oh my god.
Which one is the bard?
That'd be me.
When you write a story of this, make sure that you explain that we were doing this not for power, not for glory, but for basic right to life. And he reaches into his Bedouin robe tile type of thing and pulls out a very nice looking obsidian style, volcanic dragon glass, if you watch Game of Thrones, style dagger with some glowing green runes on it, and holds it in one hand. We do this not for power, but we do this so that all of our kin may live once more on the above surface as equals. Would we remake this world in our image? And he grabs the 5-pointed pentagram on his neck, rips the chain free, clasps it in his left hand, and plunges the dagger in his heart. And he topples into the liquid hot magma with a slow spin. He revolves once and then plunges down into the lava. The other dwarves watch after, a little bit shocked, a little bit having that kind of fervent rapture type of look that you kind of come to associate with culty type of people. They watch as he plunges on down into the lava, and then the lava ripples once more. Another earthquake. Everybody, give me a dexterity saving throw.
This is not good.
I almost had a 19.
Okay. Drusilla and Naylan managed to keep their feet. The other three of you are thrown down to your feet and or your knees, take your pick, as the entire volcano, the entire heart of this once great, magnificent place ripples and shudders. The entire thing lasts well over 30 seconds. Chunks of rock tear free from the roof up above, spiral down and skip off of the pentagram shape type of a thing. Rocks all along the wall shear free with gigantic thunderous cracks as the pressure just detonates on out and they tumble down into the lava. And then a greenish flame sears on up in a whirlwind from where the priest plunged himself on in. It sails on up about 20 feet up into the air above the platform and then splits. And each one of the dwarves is hit by a searing green bolt and collapse dead.
By the way, Mortanus, while this is all going on, can I roll an Arcana check to make sure this is the same force that was the interruptive force I felt before?
Go for it.
Just make sure this is the source.
23. Yes, the anvil is definitely radiating a similar type of energy as to that which is in the little fragment you carry, but it is still that prototypical energy as if it is ready to be shaped, not as in it has already been shaped.
Oh, I have ideas for this thing, but cool. My guys, we need to stop this and get to that anvil.
So we should have said yes, and we were gonna stop them.
So after about 30 seconds, the quaking stops. Silence starts to descend, only broken by the sound of the heat, convection of the air currents rising and settling. Little bits of pinging as some last dirt kind of trails on off, skips off of some of the chains, and then silence completely descends, leaving you alone on a platform covered in dead dwarves and a gigantic anvil and that altar-like thing to the left of the anvil there. You can see apparently has a alcove beneath it with a chest.
Ooh, treasure.
And then, yeah, silence reigns supreme.
Guys, might I suggest we throw these bodies off into the lava because I've got a bad feeling about this.
Don't feed the volcano with their blood.
Would you rather we have to deal with more zombies that possibly could turn demonic since a green flame just hit them?
You see, do you know what blood and fire does in demonic? No, of course.
While they're discussing this, I'm moving up to everything.
Okay.
I'd be arguing with Denville the whole way there. Do
Uh,
not.
and by
burn
the way,
blood with
my
volcano.
HP is at max, but the Roll20 is not showing it for some reason.
Okay, I fixed it.
Cool, thank you.
Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and ignore advice. I'm going to start throwing these I'm going to throw at least this first body off and see what happens. The one
Okay,
that's right next to me.
I'm going for the chest.
that would be this one right here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you toss it off into the liquid hot magma. Okay, I'm sorry, I missed who said they were going for the chest while I was busy
Hang 'em.
Dr. Eveling. Okay, hang
I
on.
did.
The chest is absolutely ornate. It is beautiful. It is done with stone, as if it was taken from an enormous slab of some sort of like basalt monolith type of a thing, and then carved, which would take so much time until it had a depression in it where it could store items. And it's large. It's about 6 feet long. I mean, that anvil or that altar type of thing is almost 10 feet in size. So as you slide it on out, it's got beautiful banding of various colored metals. It looks like a rose gold and that same kind of pewtery substance that makes up the anvil that still has no reflection. Its surface is just mirror smooth. It's not reflecting the light. It's not reflecting the stone. It appears as if it's just not in this room. But there is no lock on this chest as you slide it on out. You want to open it?
Yes.
Inside, there is a cloak folded up very nicely, set down at the bottom, with a belt resting atop of it. And all of these items look meticulous, perfect, very top of their craftsmanship. There's a battle axe and a long sword, each in
Battle axe.
scabbards of bright, silvery type of material that shine as you pull it out. By the way, there is reflections on those.
Battle axe. I don't care about anything else in there.
Wait, I was going to ask real quick, Mortanis. Did the body hitting the lava have any other adverse effects?
As the body is kicked off of the edge, it does a triple gainer, flish, swish, swish, splash, and lands on in. And the lava roils once more, and then there's a minor aftershock tremor. But you're not sure if it was because of the body hitting the lava or if it was because, aftershocks or not. But silence descends again afterward.
Ha! See, Vice, I told you nothing would happen.
She rolls her eyes and looks at the altar. Is there a place that would fit a gem?
No, there is not.
Okay, so we have 3 parts here. We have an altar, we have a pristine-looking anvil, which may or may not be Moradin's, and we have a giant caldera of burning lava where green flame shot out of. So which one of these 3 is the crystal more synonymous with?
None, actually.
None.
Yeah. I'm just going to give a little bit of a spoiler. It doesn't actually have anything to do with this particular moment, other than it happens to be related to the underlying cause.
Gotcha. So I couldn't.
So, go for
I
it.
couldn't technically infuse the crystal with the power of direct flames from this volcano.
Possibly. But first off, let's divvy up loot here. Who wants the long sword?
Can I technically
Who-
use it? Or
Who
no?
uses long swords? Let's ask that question first.
I can.
Let me see. I do have a long sword already, so
A shiny new longsword that might or may not be magical.
Yeah, all this shit's magic. So,
okay. In that case, yeah,
Alright.
I'll take the long
well,
sword.
let's just put it this way. Some people have not gotten magic items, and those would be
Everyone but me.
Drusilla.
I have a magic bow.
I-
Oh, we just still got the bow.
Yeah. Okay, so Denville, would you like a longsword or battle axe?
I'm not taking the battle axe. I'm
I
taking a
figured as much.
longsword.
Okay, so go ahead.
I'm not going to be mean.
All right, battle axe, obviously for Hangum.
Yes, please.
All right. And those are both +1. There doesn't have to be any oddness to it. Now, the other two do require attunement. Would someone like to attempt to arcana them real quick? Belt and cloak.
I'll do the cloak.
I'll do the other, I guess.
Okay, you snuggle with the cloak, but cannot manage to get anything out of it. And the belt is obviously a magical belt of some magic.
Okay.
Real quick.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, I was just gonna ask: is there any magic bonus to this sword? Because I'm literally just modifying the
+1.
longsword I have now.
Yeah, it's a +1 to attack, +1 to damage.
Okay, so I need to put that in the magic part, not in the strength plus, right? I need to put magic
Correct.
bonus. Okay.
Well, there
just making
might
sure.
be a something in the compendium that you can add. Because like with my bow, there was already a short bow +1 in there that you could add.
This cloak looks nice. I think I want the cloak.
Okay, it's a really nice cloak. It's definitely pretty nice. I will say that the belt does have a vaguely, we're going to call it a, well, thank you for that follow. Very much appreciated. We're going to call the belt has a pictogram of a dwarf on its belt buckle, like a face in profile, kind of like, Roman coins had the faces. This is a stylized dwarven face.
I don't really have a need for a belt. Does anyone wear pants? Because I kind of wear dresses here.
Guess I could take it.
Potato farmer can have it.
Sure.
You cool with that, Drusilla? Or do you want the belt?
That's fine.
I would recommend possibly giving it to other players because I did give Nailin a pretty nice magic item before he walked in.
Oh,
Okay. Well, then somebody else can have it then.
Nailin got some magic armor that's pretty spiffy.
pretty dope. What do you say, Palace?
I mean,
Take-
Sure.
All right. You get the belt. I got the cloak. These two got weapons, and they
Right.
already came in with a boss.
I will say you guys could switch items and attempt to arcana check them since you failed at your individual items.
Yeah, might as well give it a shot.
all right, let's do that.
What do
Hey,
we got,
real
belt?
quick.
It's a
Wow.
belt.
Oh,
It's a belt.
Wow. Okay. Let me take a second to look at the SR. Okay, that's weird. Must be a wondrous item? It is. No, that's weird. Ah, okay. That is just odd. It didn't show up in a control F. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and say, Drusilla, you managed to cuddle with the cloak, and for a little bit, you managed to discover that it is most likely a cloak of protection, just a flat +1 bonus to AC. So unfortunately, the belt apparently stymies everyone.
cool.
Ooh.
So
You think it's a cloak of protection, huh?
He does. She
Yes.
does.
it's a cloak of protection. Whereas the belt,
It's a belt.
yes. So what do I do about that with my inventory?
Can you
I would put
Do
his
the
belt
thing on
question
my axe?
mark.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I was asking, could they do it on my axe? Like in that arcana check on my axe?
They
the
could. I'm just going to hand wave away, and when they arcana check it, yeah, it's just a +1.
Well, I like
Just
this
needed to make
cloak.
sure everybody had a magic weapon of some sort at this point.
Cool.
Well, this is fitting since I keep getting sneak attacked from every direction at all times.
Somewhat true, yes. So as our faithful bard begins kicking bodies off, something unfortunately does happen.
Of course, it does.
So once again, the ground the entire cavern. The volcano itself shudders as if compressing in upon itself. Lava splashes on up kind of waves. It's way less viscous than it should be. And then an entire glob of liquid hot magma about the size of my hand, like the size of maybe a bowling ball, surges on up in the air, propelled by the force of these waves, twirling overhead and splashing down right next to the anvil, and then flashes up into what can only be described as a magma elemental. But it is, notably, about the size of a house cat.
Okay.
I'm gonna try speaking to an infernal and say, "Hail, elemental! What brings you to life?"
Okay. As you begin to speak to it, it actually stops and turns and glances on up at you, and the magma kind of ripples away, forming vaguely face like features, like hollows for the eyes where the nose would be in the mouth. And it tries, at least looks like it's attempting to talk. The mouthhole region moves up and down. And then with blistering, and that is totally a pun, blistering fast speed, it flows around the anvil, locking on top of this body right there. Oh, you guys can't see this. I haven't moved it yet. It flows on over, latches onto the body, and then consumes it. It literally, the dwarven body just gutters. You smell burning flesh, cooking fat, and it's consumed in a matter of seconds, and it grows from cat-sized on up to what would basically be small in game terms now. So it's about 3 feet tall or so. Flames rippling off of its magma form. Give me a second. Let me delete the dwarf beneath it.
Get rid of the bodies.
Oh, now you guys want to get rid of the bodies.
And like I said, it swells on up from cat size to about 3 feet tall as the body is completely consumed away, and with a weird rippling sound that does remind you a lot of rocks crumbling to dust. It says, "Must feed." And we're going to pause it right there because that's been 3 hours, and we're not going to kick off a boss battle right at this point.
Cliffhanger.
Told you. I told you, get rid of the bodies.
So yes,
Oh.
effectively in this fight, each body that the elemental consumes enlarges it, and it is already no slouch at this size. And if it continues to grow, it will get really painfully damaged. And that aura around it is a blistering aura of flame that will consume things around it. So at the start of combat, Hangum's going to get a little bit of a sunburn there. So in any case, let's do our post-game breakdown for those of you that are new and haven't seen that before. After the session, we like to kind of give our thoughts about what was good, what wasn't good, what we liked, what we disliked, and just kind of distill everything down into something that we can talk about and learn from so that hopefully future sessions are even better than this one. And yeah, so let's start at the top of the chart with Vice. Give us your post-game thoughts, please.
Everything went to me. It was extremely fun tonight. I had no real issues with anything, other than the fact that I am just a magnet for being in the wrong place at the wrong time and sneak attacked.
That was absolutely amazing that you moved without knowing there was an invisible dwarf just right there, holding a pick. And he's, did that actually just happen? Did this weird thing just walk right into my attack?
Yeah, and then I just get caved. Yeah. So thank you. Yes, yes, Denville. I do the most damage on a good fight on fire damage, but man, I am squishy.
I'm gonna
you're right.
very.
You're a glass
very,
cannon.
Yeah, very stereotypical definition of the glass cannon.
I shatter very quickly, but man.
Yeah, but those 17 hit points do an awful lot of damage in return before you drop. So.
Oh yes.
So I'm going to interject real quick. We are not going to level up right now. We will level up after the boss fight because that will be thematically appropriate. But yeah, just to give a heads up, I do have an underlying story behind all of the threads that are going on. Two are interconnected, but not all of them are. There are currently two major plot lines that are running independently, plot A and plot B, but they are linked together. Plot will come together at a later point, depending on which choices you guys made. Because I have no idea how you guys are going to play some of these things, and I don't want to try to guess that at this point. So it could go many different ways. So yes, the gem does have things to do with the plot, but not all of them are going to come together here. So
Yeah, so at least I'm hoping that maybe I can turn it, infuse it with one of the elements. Seems to be like a catalyst or a cage of sorts to hold that energy. Maybe.
All right.
We'll see.
Drusilla.
Today was a lot of fun. I didn't think like y'all are still teaching me a lot about things you can do in fighting and stuff. Because I knew there was like the lava rounds, but until it happened, I never thought about tossing them off into the fire. So still learning a lot. I'm still really amazed. I'm amazed at how I managed to hit nothing the whole time. So this will be interesting, especially since we haven't done a long rest. Because I'll go into this and only have, I guess, melee attacks. Because anything I throw at it with bows will just melt the arrows. So
potentially, generally speaking, the way that a lot of things go is that once you have a magic weapon, it bypasses a lot of the "oops, we're screwed" type of a thing. Like, well, I can't actually say that because that happens a little bit later and something else. But in any case, there's a lot of things like when you guys were fighting something a week or two ago, it was entirely resistant to like slashing, piercing, bludgeoning, unless from a magic weapon. So in that case, the bow would confer that +1 to the arrow as it's being shot. So in this case, when you shot the rust monster, it wasn't it was destroyed not because it was a magic or non-magic. It was just because thematically I had to show something. So
right, I was saying more about the fact that this thing's a fire elemental, and I'm shooting a arrow that made of wood.
Yeah, well, you're shooting an arrow made of magic, technically, at that point. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
So it may still be perfectly fine to shoot at it because that's just piercing damage, and it's shot from a magic bow. Ergo, it's magic damage. I'm not saying whether or not that'll work. I don't want to give the game away, but yeah, it may work. It may not. We'll find out in the next combat. But
no, that's fine because it actually tells me something I didn't know about the magic bow because I didn't know I could. I was still thinking of wood and fire, so that tells me I have more options than I really even realized. So.
Yeah, exactly like Vidat said, like werewolves, that's silver or magical. The magical imbues the arrow with the properties on that. So, as far as not knowing what sort of things you can do, I mean, being entirely realistic, no. By the rules as written, I obviously should not have allowed anyone to pick up a rust monster, beat a large creature with it so hard that the rust monster explodes and throws a 450-pound dwarf into lava. Rule of cool. If you can pick it up, and I rolled that nat 1 on my dex check. I mean, technically speaking, there's no nat 1s on stat checks.
Yeah.
It's only combat. But let's be honest, if you see a nat 1 or a nat 20, something cool should happen or something dramatic, So I rolled a nat 1. So at that point, rules as written, no, nothing should have happened. But let's be honest, something should happen. When someone has a good idea like that, even if it's, you killed 2 birds literally with 1 stone in the middle of combat. Wow, I mean, that's way too cool not to be like, I'm sorry, but you can't actually do that. That is not the way that the game is. No, hell no. We're going to pick that thing up. We're going to hit that dude with the other dude. They're both going into the lava, and that is a done. So basically, if it sounds like it could be vaguely, feasibly logical, and you ever come up with a good, impassioned speech on why I should fudge the dice in your favor, I'm going to, because that's way better than saying, no, I'm sorry, but the rules don't allow you to do that. So yeah, always be thinking outside the box because that's where the most memorable things happen. We've had people yeeting people into other people so many times now that it's become a meme of the thing, and it's only going to get better from here. So
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, cool beats clever. I mean, you can always have some cool, clever idea that also works. But, if it's going to be cinematic, if it's going to be very epic, that would be like this, I could see in a movie, we're probably going to go with it. And fudge the dice more than they probably should have been. I still would have allowed that even if I hadn't gotten in that one, but once that nat one came up, it's like, yeah, okay, we have to go full kit and caboodle. This has to be absolutely epic, or everyone's going to feel like it was a little bit robbed. So,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
and I love that Alan compared that to 300s, kicking them.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, that was and that's also one of the reasons why I'm really bad at this, because right now I'm using maps that I've taken from various Patreons that I'm a part of, because I don't have the time to make maps. And to be perfectly honest, when I do combat, I have a real bad problem putting in environmental effects and things that people could hide behind or go into stealth behind or use to their advantage by shooting out a chandelier to drop on someone's face or something. So I don't generally give those type of things so that people have them, and that's on me. And it's great when we have these type of things because okay, there's an environmental factor. I didn't think anything of it, but let's be honest. I probably should have thought as soon as there was an option to kick something into fire, something would be kicked into fire. So yeah. I'm glad that we're using these type of maps that give everybody the opportunity to think outside the box, because it's way better than the old standby of looking at the character sheet. I'm going to hit it with my long sword for the 7th time in a row.
Wow.
So, yeah. Hangam Windhammer. Oh, you know what?
Sorry.
You used your point of inspiration tonight, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, let's go ahead and give you a point of inspiration for that whole thing, because that was applause worthy. You definitely need another point of inspiration for that.
So yeah, once I saw that they weren't doing anything to me, I was like, okay, like I'm not gonna be too worried about it. First off, and second off, when I saw that I was on the bridge, I was like, okay, the first thing I'm doing is kicking, because like it was because I saw the arrow get dissolved. I was like, I don't want my battle axes to get damaged.
Yep.
So, but yeah, no, like, and I mean, playing your way of playing like the cinematic view over just like battling, which I'm normally just like, if that was like any other game that I would have been playing, I probably would have just not even thought about it, ran up and just But like playing this way, you're teaching me how to like, all right, well, there's an edge. He's next to edge. Edge means fall. Let's make him fall.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking outside the boxes, and I've definitely learned that from this campaign.
I like that. Even going back to the very first night, it looked like it could have been just a bog standard initial combat to get everybody's feet wet in some D&D tropes. There's some zombies and it's a fight in a bar. And then, Vice looks around and asks, well, it's a bar. Is there anything flammable behind there? And, from then on, everybody's just going hog wild with all sorts of crazy things, and it's getting more and more. So I absolutely love that. Even from the word get-go, we've been having that sort of ability to keep things going, and I love it. This is so much funner than it could have been otherwise. So
otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'm happy as I got my magic axe. I didn't take any damage yet, and pretty happy right now.
All
Do you
right.
know what that's like, not taking damage?
What? No, never.
Denville.
What can I say about tonight? Definitely enjoying it. Although I think there needs to be a system in place from now on to where we can dispute being damaged by others. And yes, I'm thinking about you, Danzig, mister. I'm going to yeet him down the stairs and through a bookcase.
You tripped. I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh. Right.
You
But
don't
other than
know
that,
you
I
fell
mean-
down the stairs.
In character, yes. Out of character, I would have disputed that. Be like, wait a minute, he's going to grab me. No, let me spin and throw him instead. But
Yeah, in
Nah.
general, that is true. I do like to keep characters away from, enforcing will on other characters that they don't have a say in.
that being
I
said, the
try
wisdom
to
check,
keep PvP out of things, but yeah,
the wisdom check rolling the net one, I can understand why it happened tonight.
that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was. But other than that, I'm still, as always, loving these detailed descriptions of these areas. And then I'm just gonna say one other thing. I told you we should have yeeted the bodies off into the lava. Nobody listens to the bard.
That is
Okay,
true.
but you have no idea how many campaigns. Okay, let's dispose of the bodies into the volcano, And then the exact same scenario that happened in the volcano, and we actually had the volcano erupt into an elemental that started burning villages and countrysides.
Yeah, but you gotta remember,
For
though, Danzig, no two campaigns are alike.
I know,
Yeah.
but that's just like,
But unfortunately, in this case, the first body you threw in basically pre-fed the elemental. It came out one size category larger than it would have otherwise. Sorry. It should have gone tiny, then what's after tiny? It's
tiny,
not small.
medium. Yeah, tiny,
Okay,
small,
then it
medium,
should
large, huge cooking.
Diminutive, then tiny, then small. So it started out one category size larger than it would have. So yes.
Yeah, but to be fair,
It was a
it's
smart
now
idea.
here.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yes, kicking it into the lava would, for a magic person, be like, okay, you probably just fed the volcano exactly what it was looking at. That dude jumped in. Why do we want the rest of the bodies to go in after it? But from a logical standpoint, you'd be like, yeah, those are probably going to get up and eat my face. I'm going to kick them in the lava. So both of you guys were very, very justified in your actions. So,
True.
all right, Naylan, Naylan.
Yeah, it's good enough. Yeah, I'm having fun. First of all, thank you for letting me guys join in.
Oh yeah.
So it is fun. Just trying to figure out, I guess, for myself, like how I fit in and like just getting a little more comfortable being on camera with you guys and everything. But yeah, it's really fun so far.
Yeah, I mean, we still have tendencies where it's not to pick on anyone, but some people have personalities where they try to jump to the front, and some people don't, and that's actually a really good way for campaigns to work together. So it's not really a big deal. All things considered, once you get comfortable with everyone, I think you'll find your groove on there. So push and interject whenever you feel necessary, and we will shout you down if it's inappropriate. But 9 times out of 10, it isn't. It's always better when everyone's like, wait, no, I got an idea. I got an idea. In fact, I can't think of any time we've actually had someone interject and it hasn't been a better option so far. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So no one has any critiques. It's all praise, huh?
Not that I can think of.
So
All right.
I'm seeing things, very much, hey, we're fighting fire creatures. It makes sense where we are. I can see you're not too happy with my beating of your monster from last time.
Oh, no, don't worry. We'll actually be getting out of the fire region after this adventure, and things will go back to not being immune to your special particular powers. So it just was thematically appropriate. Yeah.
And I did hear Alan critiquing my earlier, barely my talking to the person. Well, maybe we should have told him we were after him.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I mean, I just was joking along that we're like, oh no, we're happy that he's talking to us, and then
oh yeah,
all
no,
of a sudden we should, yeah.
I will ask this. I will ask this, Mortanus. If we had said we were sent by the dwarves, what would have happened? Out of curiosity.
Yes, I mentioned that as well.
If you had said you were sent by the dwarves, he probably would have just jumped straight in and been like, all right, well, tell them I said fuck you, and jumped in immediately. Had you continued to talk with him, he actually would have discussed things a little bit further. But someone mentioned that, I think it was Drusilla, that you guys were looking for interesting things as adventurers, and that immediately segued into, oh, you want interesting? I'll show you interesting. I'm about to remake the mother effing world right here. So that went into it. Had he not said that specifically, you guys would have had more conversation, and this combat might have been avoided. Just because it's a boss fight, it might have been avoided entirely. But yeah, specifically once you said, looking for something interesting, the guy was like, oh yeah, I got the most interesting. And you're like, well, the bard here is like, all right, well, let's record the story of how I, heroic Durger dwarf, saved all of my people by remaking the world. So,
not what I intended, but okay.
No, but that's the thing is, it's like the law of unintended consequences. It brought us right back around to things. And in his mind, this is a complete and utter win. I mean, the guy gets to have his story recorded by, apparently, an adventuring party with a very well-known bard. So he was like, okay, well, let's get this going. But yeah, and that's not a critique of you. That's just, it could have gone a different way. I don't, I try not to write things in a this has to happen or not happen. I try to write things in a this is the bullet point, let's see what happens and go from there. I have a general plot idea in mind, but I'm writing the stories week to week in order to deal with your guys' choices. So it could have gone either way, and both would have been equally good in my book. So
and I wasn't taking that as anything bad. It was just funny when he said that. I was like, huh, yeah, that could have gone differently.
yeah, so there were 3 possible outcomes from that scenario, and 2 of them did lead to the combat encounter. But yeah, all things considered, you actually got to the combat encounter with the better option rather than the they hate you option. So
Yeah, and I will say, Palace, never don't feel bad about consequences. I mean, in one of my campaigns, we accidentally summoned the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and instead of doing anything, we're just gonna let it be. Whatever happens, happens. They go their 4 ways. If we die, we die. We didn't even bother, so we just we just let it happen.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say this real quick because it applies to everything here. If one of us ever critiques over something, it's not because we hate what you did. At least from my standpoint, that's how I feel it would always be. Because with you having said no, Palace, it may not necessarily have been what I said. Does that mean that I'm mad at you for saying it? Absolutely not.
Right.
I mean, you were mad that I pushed you down the stairs.
Well, to be fair, you pushed me down. Not only did you push me downstairs, you pushed me through a bookcase.
well, he didn't know that there was anything beyond it. He just knew it was a wooden texture behind it, not that it was a door on top of a 300-foot staircase.
Okay, but had it not been staircase instead just a completely black void, you would have felt like crap afterwards, Danzig. Or at
That's
least
true.
I'd imagine so.
Probably.
I wouldn't have allowed anyone to have been straight up killed from something like that, though. But it was funny. I will say
Okay.
that it was.
I'll admit it was funny. Out of character, it was. I just had
I
to stay
figured-
in character for that one. That's why I got a little frustrated, mad, and got a little loud. So
See, the thing is like, I only know there's wood behind this illusion. I know it's an illusion. I also have 17 HP. They could be trapped. I should send the person in there who has the most health. And had you not have nat 1, had you have succeeded and it would be like, oh, there's wood behind there. Can you see if you can get through there? I would have been like, hey, can you do this? And they're like, you're nat 1. And I'm like, well, I've only got one option here to get him to open that door. And it was just to shove you.
I see your point.
I would have done this, you know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Diplomatically.
Diplomatically, yes. I would have been very diplomatic about this. But it went out the window on a nat 1. So I was like, well, this might be funny. Kick.
I think the word you're
Yeah.
looking for is delicate, not diplomatic.
That was the word.
Yes.
Yeah. Vice and delicate aren't usually words that go together.
Agreed. Agreed.
Well, in any case, we will be back in 2 weeks, which I believe is April 12th. So mark your calendars. If you would like to keep up to date with absolutely everything we're doing, we have more than just the D&D stuff. We do an awful lot of things, and we would just honestly love people to hang out with us. So drop on by the Discord. You can see it there on the map or command Discord in chat. We'll get us there. Stop on by. We're cool. We're way cool. But otherwise, thank you all for watching. It has been an absolutely fun night. And you can find all of us on our respective channels and Twitters. You can see each of our Twitch stream names are above our characters there. Most of us stream a couple of days a week. Stop on by and see us there. But otherwise, thank you all for watching. It's been good. Take care.